Good. Numbing. Hello, YouTube. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've had a good weekend. I hope you're all vibing, ready for the last few streams from my end, at least, this side of Christmas and the New Year, because I'm going to be very busy. Well, mostly, the reason why my last stream is on Wednesday is that Thursday onwards I've got the midnight shifts at work building up the Christmas, so I just won't have the energy to stream any of those days, and I know I won't. And then I want to take Christmas and New Year off anyway to spend with family, so it makes sense. So that's how it's going to be. So today, tomorrow, and Wednesday we're going to be streaming, but Thursday onwards I've got midnight shifts till Christmas, so it's just... oh, and then obviously I'll be taking some time off afterwards. The latest I'll be back, but it's probably going to be the day I come back. Like, I might come back earlier, it depends how it goes. Will be January the 3rd. Also, hey, one man, hope you're doing well. Merry early Christmas, wish you and I are yanking L. Yeah. For those unaware of this game, this is Placid Plastic Duck Simulator. It's an idle game, as in you don't interact with anything usually. It kind of just plays itself and things happen. All we do is name the ducks in this duck simulator as we go. Last time we did Infinity Call, today we're doing Quacking the Ice. There is a third map that's on the PC version, but I'm not getting a PC, getting the PC version for one DLC map. Yeah, you know, I'm not that interested. This is Xuxiang and Jingyun, and the only ones who like him. Yeah. So, last time we did the base set and Ducks Please. We're going to keep the base set, so we're going to get a few familiars, but we're going to add Duck Addiction, so we're going to get some familiars, some news. Is it Idol Game? I first thought it was Idol Game. Yeah, I get that. You know, when I went to type my pinned message, I nearly put Idol as an IDOL, and I had to go, wait a minute, that's not how you spell it. So I nearly had a moment there. Oh, Robu Dark Law, yeah. So we're gonna have some familiar. Like, I believe it will still start with YouTube chat. I think even if you don't have the default pack on, YouTube chat is always or the basic yellow duck is always the first duck. But this is Quacking the Ice. We've got a big pool up here, and although I can't show it yet because for some reason there's no camera down there. There is a frozen lake down there, and as you can see by the slide, it is very possible for ducks to go down it and end up down here. And down there's a hockey puck and a hockey net. That trophy took forever. For those who aren't aware, between streams I have now platinumed this game, so I have spent time on this map. So I do know a couple of things. That ice, every now and then a bird will swoop over and like peck at the tree. When that ice falls in, that's a trophy. This is a fireplace, that's a trophy. You can have something with fire, light it up. Also, let me know if the music's too loud. Thank you. A duck going down here for the first time is a trophy. But you see this edge here? You can see there's a line here. They get picked up and brought back up, that's another trophy. But one of the more annoying ones is that this puck has to get into that net, or there's like another net over here. It just has to go in a net. You have to get a goal with it. Ducks will whack it any way which way other than the way you need them to, so that was a while. Additionally, our one duck, I can't remember what we named it, the one that flies away. Oh, where are you? Are you in Ducks Please? The one with like the little spinny hat on. I can't see where it was right now. Oh, Tom Petty. If he flies off the map, you click on this, you can find him. And also, because I've done it, every duck of the main set is named, even the ones we didn't see on the last stream. So there are like a few here that you might go, wait a minute, I don't remember us having that one. And I'm not going to spoil, because I have seen all the ducks, but I'm not going to spoil like the Duck Addiction pack. So that's kind of it. So for most of this stream, we'll be like commentating on some of the bullshit the ducks do, but we'll mostly just be kind of chatting and vibing. Which is why I thought it would be a perfect way to start like essentially the Christmas week streams with just a vibe. And then we'll do more nail care tomorrow. It's gonna be pretty relaxed. And the only like big stream that might not intense, but you know, not just vibing, is the Genshin updates on Wednesday. Our first new duck is Majima. My favorite. Goro Majima's here. If Kiryu-chan is not around though, get to make a bunch of lore. Exactly. But it's okay, YouTube chat. You're no longer alone. Oh, it's the bumpers, the slop dogs. The moment I platinumed this game was also, funnily enough, the last time I played it or watched it. So I can't remember the controls for the cameras off the top of my head. Well, I didn't remember straight away. Why do you make Majima his beloved Kiryu? Yeah. Oh, I am aware there's Easter eggs in this game, but there's no trophies tied to finding the Easter egg, so I didn't bother. As time goes on, this curtain slowly opens, and there's a bunch of riddles and clues, and some of the riddles and clues are partially randomized, and you have to then apply them to a couple specific ducks that can spawn to help you solve a puzzle to get unique, like, scenes or little magic bits. Like, on the first map, there's a door in the back, and the code to the door is dependent on you doing maths based on an equation that will appear on the back of one of the ducks. And then when you apply the maths on the code, it makes a different duck quack in different syllables, and you're supposed to realize it's Morse code. The Morse code spells the second half of the full code. You put the whole thing in, you get access to a secret door. And it's like, I'm not doing that. There's no trophy tied to it. I'm not going to learn Morse code because it's random each time. I'm not going to learn Morse code to solve it. I'm good, thanks. The moment I read there's no trophy tied to the Easter eggs, I was like, brilliant, fantastic. I can continue to treat this game as a do-nothing game. As Majima gets out of the sun and goes into the shade. I also, like, the reason why I don't mind leaving the music on the first map, I ended up turning the jukebox off for a lot of it because I wasn't a big fan of every track. Whilst in this, I actually kind of... They're more vibey, but I kind of like all the music that plays in this map. It's nothing that you're going to remember, but it's more of a vibe. And there's no tracks that annoy me. Also, I think we just got a new duck. Who's joining us? Totally! The best Ireland alchemist. Little Miss Totally. You watch us not get a single new duck all stream now. We're going to play this for like the next however many hours until we run out of things to say. Watch us never get never get any of the duck addictions. But they're all vibing over there. None of them's gone down the slide. Because I said there's no camera down there, which I find kind of weird. So you just can't go down there unless a duck's down there. Your only two like main camera spots is this sofa over here and this wooden circle thing that you can sit in. Oh, actually, Totally might be the first down the slide. Oh, she's nowhere near close. Depth perception completely fucked me there. But speaking of platinums, my star rail progress, I'm now ranked 63, so I am 2 levels off hitting EQ6 and knocking that platinum out. I did the Topaz quest, because I did say I was going to do the, like the extra Trailblazer, like, or the Trailblazer Continuance, whatever they call it, off-screen, because it's not important to, like, the main central story, it's just kind of fun side adventures. And I was like, for the sake of getting a move on, I'll do it off-stream. So next time we come back, we'll be in Penacony, which isn't even that far away. 1.6 is a week away. After that, it's 6 weeks, we're in 2.0 and Penacony drops. We're actually pretty damn close to 2.0. But I have done the Topaz quest, and although, like, she eventually relents and, like, helps the gang out and whatnot, I can't stress enough, I really wasn't a big fan of her character. I know a lot of people like her because she's, like, you know, the in-charge, controlling type for, like, that sort of stuff, but I just didn't like Topaz, and it's not even my bias of not liking the IRS. It's not even my bias. I was just kind of like, She's very much only in it for her own self-interest. She makes like this big sob story, which although is probably true, she does it to try and manipulate. Oh, hey Sophie, what, were you jealous? Totodoro's the only alchemist in the pond? Alright. And like her story kind of, like Topaz's story kind of came across as a little BS-y anyway, and like obscured facts to try and convince Bronya to give in and just sell out an entire her entire kingdom basically. I had to play the game. Yeah, I mean, you can tell, especially by the end of it, that she's no more a cog in the system than, you know, the whole of Belobog was. So she's basically just doing her job, and the fact that she didn't do her job and just, you know, completely devastate the entire livelihood of the Belobogians cost her a pay deduction, loss of her, like, Christmas bonus, and, like, a demotion of rank. I was just like, wow, you didn't destroy a civilization, so she just got fucked. What? But it doesn't change the fact that she's still a fucking tax/debt collector, so she's the enemy of man. Yeah, I know. And the Ghost Story one, I don't even think the Ghost Story one was super cute. It was a little cheesy in places. Okay, it was hella cheesy in places, but you know what? For a little side story, whatever. It was dumb, and I liked the Ghost Squad, because I have finally started, like, the proper event after the story bit, where you basically go on, like, ghost-busting expeditions. And I was just like, okay, this is kind of fun. This is kind of dorky and silly. You get to appreciate Hua Hua better. I had no idea that, what was her name, Henya or Hanya, was, like, the sister of Shilu, because they look nothing alike. I know both of them are technically dead in different ways, so that's probably why they look different from each other, because one became more spectral and the other is partially rebuilt through cybernetics. Like, both of their original bodies are gone, but it's still a bit like, of the 10 lords, these two are sisters, they look absolutely nothing alike, and neither of them are alive. What's going on here? I can't imagine the scope of intergalactic debt connection. Yeah, right? Oh, hey, this planet we thought was doomed has been alive, but they have a debt that's 700 years old, and for some reason there's no, like, time forgiveness on debt in Star Rail. Or whatever it's called. You know what it is? It's like, if so much time has passed, the debt gets brushed aside because it no longer matters. I forget what the actual term is. Oh. Sophie Neuenmuller, is she going down the slide? Absolutely, she's the first down the slide. She's always been a go-getter. But you'd like to think after 700 years, be like, yeah, oh, you know what? Your debt doesn't matter. That was literally generations ago. Literally, no one from that time is still around today. But here's the ice rink, and you can see there's a puck there that can go into either that goal or that goal. That's my life. Fair enough. I work a full-time job. I have. And it's never fun. Especially when you have to go back through your files afterwards for whatever reason. It's the most boring but at the same time kind of stressful job in the universe, because if you fuck it up, it feels like hitmen are coming for you. I know it's not literally that, but it's how it fucking feels. Sophie's out here ice skating, vibing on the ice. You know, I'm surprised, like, I say that it's gonna be like when one of the Dusk games has snuck it in. I'm surprised they've never had, like, an actual ice skating mechanic in an Atelier game. Considering how, like how much of, like, a vibe a lot of the games are. When you go across the ice, like, it doesn't even have to be, like, a mini-game or anything. It could just be an animation change of the character, like, sliding across instead of, like, running across. Or, like sliding their feet across, like, their ice skating. And they could, like, mess around with it, too. I know, like, my brain's immediately going to, like, Mario Galaxy. But, like, in Mario Galaxy, if you're running at full speed across ice, Mario starts skating instead. Once you're skating, if you jump, instead of doing a normal jump, he does a twirl. Imagine if they did that in, like, an Atelier game. Like, you're just, like, running across the ice as Sophie. She starts skating. You press jump, and she does a little twirl on the ice. Like, just imagine that for a second. Like, come on. Why don't they have it so characters can ice skate when they run across the ice? Now the Atelier franchise is doing way better. There's little details like that they could get away with doing. Oh, here he is. The big man of the hour. I forget what these little, like, snow tractor things are called. But the snowmobiles. But this is here, basically, when this is ready to come push ducks up. Sophie's the only duck down here, so, we're going to be sitting here for a second, so I will... Oh, fucking Steve joined us. I must have missed him. Anime Steve. I forgot how quickly ducks spawn at the early half. And who's joined us now? Fucking Margilu. Oh, hell yeah. I miss Margilu. I miss Tales of Berseria. Remaster when? I know it's on PS4, and like I like rip the shit out of other games that have PS4 versions that then get remastered on PS5. But the difference is that they look fucking identical and have absolutely no extra quality of life or bonuses and whatnot. Tales of Berseria remastered would get rid of the fucking recording restrictions, and that's enough. And would make the frame rate more consistent. That snowmobile's vibing down there. I think the snowmobile is going to stay out and about until that door closes. And what makes the door close and makes the gondola start moving up is, I think it's after a few minutes, or if there are 3 ducks in it already. Yeah, they could remedy it with a patch, and I've been begging for said patch for years, but I've long since come to the acceptance it's never happening. And I can call them out and say they can patch it, because Final Fantasy 15 patched out the recording block on its final chapter. Kingdom Hearts 3 patched out any recording blocks within its game. The only game that didn't was 7 Remake, but we later learned that's because they knew a PS5 version was coming, so they were going to have the PS5 version just not have the recording block. So hey Fable. Ducks! Yeah, welcome to Duck Sim. So it's like, I've seen other companies be more than willing to patch out recording blocks, so I know Berseria can do it, but they've also made a whole new Tales of game since then, so I don't think they're gonna do it. I don't think Berseria, I mean, their priority is definitely Arise now, because Arise is out, but Berseria also had a good few years to kind of breathe and be on its own. The thing that held Berseria back is that it's connected to one of the worst games I've ever unfortunately experienced in terms of turn-based RPGs, or action RPGs, and that's Zestiria. And I think a lot of people really don't like Zestiria, so a lot of people didn't really bother with Berseria, and only through word of mouth afterwards realised that it's actually goaded with the source. I said it before, I'll say it again. At some point, I do want to bury the hatchet with Zestiria, and, like, not live stream it. Oh, Jesus. But, do a review. And my review must be, like, literally, like, settling the matter with Zestiria. Like, that's probably what I'll call the video. Like, literally just settling the drama with that fucking game and putting it to bed. And I'll spend probably a lot of it talking about how much I genuinely love Berseria and how important of a game that is and how it's one of my all-time favourite games, before even talking about how my first playthrough... John Cena, where the fuck is he? Oh, it's a glitch in the game, I can't see him. Can you guys see him? Oh man, I can't... Sorry, I'll stop joke. A friend of mine loves it. Yeah, there's always someone. It's like there's someone out there that loves Paper Mario Sticker Star. I'm not... They're wrong, but I'm not gonna stop them from liking it. Oh, has it just started raining? Oh god, it has. Alright, my washing's out on the line. It's just started raining, so I'm gonna let this game carry on. I'll be back in just a minute. I'm gonna go get the washing in. Sorry, gamers. I know it's an idle game, but we literally are just idling now. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, that's the... When I get back, one man, remind me, PlayStation 3. There's a topic about the PlayStation 3 I want to talk about. Remind me when I get back. Be back in just a minute. Alright, I'm back. What ducks have I missed? I see Snake already. Oh, the Huntsman's out. This is a map exclusive duck. Okay, I only missed Snake. Okay. Right, yes. PlayStation 3. My fun announcement. I say announcement like it's gonna mean anything to my streams. I brought a PlayStation 3. I'm now finally the owner of a PlayStation 3. Oh, we got the Cyborg. It hasn't arrived yet because I ordered it online. We got the Cyborg duck, this guy. I brought a PlayStation 3. I brought a HDMI switcher. So, I don't have to unplug and replug shit in. I'm gonna have my PS5, my Xbox One, and my PS3 in a HDMI switcher. So I can just press between them. It wouldn't matter if I got those things, one man. I don't have a PC to link it to. It's more for me, but I got a PS3, it comes with a controller, got a HDMI splitter, and I got Artonico Quagga, aka Artonico 3. So I've got more of the Gust R games. I've got Artonico 1 and 2, I've now got Quagga, and I've got Arna Surge on my Vita. The only one I'm missing is Seal No Surge, but oh wait, that never left Japan! So I've got Chapter 1, 2, 3, and 5. I haven't got Chapter 4, because for some reason that one never left Japan. And it's more annoying because there was a PS4 remaster, and I learnt that the PS4 remaster of Arna Surge came with Seal No Surge, which probably explains why that also never left Japan, because then they'd have to actually translate Seal No Surge, and I'm just like, god dang it. So yeah, there's a PS4 remaster, and I mean like a proper remaster, not just a port. Like they actually went back and cleaned things up, like re-added, like added some extra content here and there. And just all this other stuff. And I'm just like, one day. So I sort of regret pulling for Silverwolf because Blade and Kafka are coming. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I'm comfortable with my team. I rolled on Silverwolf's banner, but not because I want to get Silverwolf, but because I wanted Hanya. And I'm glad I've got her now. It took way longer than it is, and I kid you not, I looked at my roll history, I'm on 85 rolls. If I roll again, there's a very good chance I'm getting a 5-star come my way, so I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna stop here. I'm not gonna push my luck, because I'm absolutely gonna lose, and just get a 5-star that I don't really have a place for Silverwolf, so I'm not gonna roll for her. And that's assuming I even win the 50-50. Oh, also, during the night, there's a fucking mammoth duck under the ice, look at it. Yeah, and we also get Dr. Ratio for free. And I don't have a place for it. Like, it's cool to have another imaginary character, because there really isn't that many. And it's nice to have another The Hunt character, even though Zila completely fucking dominates that class. But at the same time, I'm like, well, thanks, it's for free, but I have no idea what I'm going to do with you. I picked it when it's in the Q&A in Starro. Yeah, don't. Fucking going to Twitter and in the trending tab on Twitter being 3 different topics and it being a full sentence. It being Dr. Ratio was top trending. So number 2 was for free, and then the third one was Genshin would never. And I was just like, what the fuck's going on? They're like, those 3 in order. Like, the 3 top trending topics made a complete fucking sentence. I was like, what the fuck? Oh, Leben! Leben! Leben's back. She's spying out tourist destinations to take her girlfriend. She's like, oh, and Noah would like this place a lot. There's another Dunhung. Oh, don't you like Dunhung? That's fair. I mean, I'm not going to shoot a gift horse in the face. I'm still taking Dr. Ratio. I just know where to put him on my team. It would be nice if Genshin gave out a 3-star, but that's not happening. I know, like, people make the joke, but it is, Hoyoverse have a favourite child, and that favourite child is not Genshin, it's Honkai. And not even just Star Rail, just Honkai in general. There's always had like a slight leniency on that over Genshin. And so it really doesn't surprise me that Star Rail gets a 5-star. I know it's a different team within Hoyoverse, and it's their choice versus the Genshin team's choice, but still. Like the zebra duck. Oh, we have got two ducks here that are unnamed. We've got the cyborg duck, and we've got this huntsman duck. So if either of you two come up with a fun name, you're welcome to share it, and it will be named as such. Because we do name our ducks as we go, as you can see by Sophie and Steve over there. Adds a bit more to the spice of life. Our starting duck is always... Actually, I can go through them all. We have YouTube chat, so we have you guys encapsulated in one duck. I'm so sorry you have to share a room. We got Goromajima. We got the lovely little Toturi. We've got the other alchemist. We got Sophie Neuenmuller. We got Steve the anime duck. We got Margilu for that Basiria rep. We got John Cena because we can't fucking see him. We got Snake because he's hiding. And we got a huntsman and we got a cyborg. Oh yeah, if you click on the cyborg, you can see the world from the cyborg's eyes. And this is needed for a trophy because there's a ghost duck that you can get. And the ghost duck can only be seen from the cyborg. You can't see it on the world. Like Genshin Morph, yeah. Yeah, I'm still hoping for Honkai Impact 3rd offline version. Honkai 1 or GZZ, that's probably never... Or GGZ, sorry, not GZZ. That's probably never getting an offline version. The servers of that game have been dead for a while now, so like that game's just not accessible. But they recap a lot of its story in thirds, like data logs, so you kind of, like, I guess. But Honkai Impact 2 is still around, even though, like, I think its servers are only in China now. Like, I think, like, the international servers aren't around. But that one, most of its lore is in side material, it's in books, so that one's okay. So it is literally just Impact 3rd, because that's, like, the one that's, like, the full action RPG, like, linear action game, well, adventure. That's like, hey, this had a genuinely beautiful story. It'd be nice if you expanded on it, or made it more available to people. Allow ducks to take over the world? Hell yeah. Oh, who's the brick wall that just fell in? Is that me? No, that's Kurumi, that's my wife. Okay, I'm not around yet. If you're wondering why my wife is the one that sunk to the bottom of the pool, it's because there's two ducks that sink to the bottom of the pool. And I was like, if there's any two ducks that are going to be stuck at the bottom of the pool, it should be me and my wife. You know what? I know what I'm going to name this cyborg duck. None of you guys have named it yet, so I'm naming it. It's a Noah, because it's a cyborg, get it? Also, yeah, you can kind of get teased on what some of the other ducks are, but don't worry. Sinking together, how lovely, yeah. It's also funny, because it's be like, oh, how I'm doing? Oh, I'm dead. My wife and I? Oh, yeah, we're buried, we're fine. Alright, Leben, your girlfriend is real. Again. And that's not even, like, shipping bait. Play Cry Machina, the game's secretly a love story. And that's not even, like, a joke. The whole second half of the story is literally just a love story between Leben and Noah, and it's really cute. I was thinking Kurt Angle? I don't know that reference off the top of my head. You're both making references I don't get. I have a toxic one based on the premise. Whee! A wrestling cyborg in TNA. Oh, okay. Margilu's keeping an eye on my wife. I appreciate Margilu. You're a real good, like, wing woman. We still need to name this psychopath with an axe. Who's hanging out with the alchemists, Steve, Anime Steve, and like a glitch. I can't see him. How about Nanomachine, son? problem with that. Let me just pick any duck. The letter limit, I believe, is 10. Like, I think Pseudo-Wudo is, like, on the edge of the limit. Because there's a couple names we had to shrink down. It's why YouTube chat is just YT chat, because, like, there's not enough space. Ted Bundy? I can do Ted Bundy. There you go. Raiden. I've already named a cyborg. You missed your chance. I gave you, like, guys, a couple minutes, and then I went, you know what, no, screw it, I'm naming it, so you missed your chance. Next time. There are other ducks that are kind of cyborg-like. Just that's the only proper cyborg duck. But yeah, my intention though, I have well, about to have a PS3 when it arrives, is, firstly I said I want to get Artanica Kroger, so that's all sorted, that's cool. I want to get, Tales of Zilla, or however you pronounce it, Zilla, the Xillia game, and its sequel, because I always hear really good things about them, and I want to give them another fair go. Now, I'm a little older than I was when I first gave them a go. I want to get the original NEP 1 just because of morbid curiosity. And maybe the original NEP 2, but it really depends on my mood. Or NEP Mark 2. I don't... Oh, the Trails... Trials, not Trails. Do you mean as in, like... Did you mean did you mean Trails, or do you mean Tails, or do you mean Trials? Because Trials, I'm talking about the motorcycling game. Trails, that's one man's speciality, because I've only played a little of Zero. Tails, there's only one of them, or well, two of them I really like. Also, new duck. Fucking Starman over here. Hero G, Size Problem still upper tier. Yeah, I'd hope so. I don't know when I'll get to it, but now I have a PS3, it's like it can be more on the board of me actually getting to it. And there's also a few games, like I might get the Final Fantasy 13 trilogy on PS3, just get all three of them. Because I own two of the three on 360, but it'd just be like, for the sake of like having them all under one umbrella, getting them on PS3. Also, the ice block on the tree fell down, and in here is a skiing duck. It's currently frozen solid, but there is a skiing duck in there. Oh, you did mean Trails. Okay, the only Trails game I've played of is Zero. Yeah, because you're putting Trials, Fabled. You're misspelling it. You've got the I and the A the wrong way round, so that's why it threw me off. Yeah. I've only played a bit of Trails from Zero, but I plan to go back to that whole franchise early-ish next year. But I plan to break it up, not by saga per se, but like every so many games. So like, I'll do Zero and Azure together, but then take a break, do Cold Steel 1 and 2, take a break, 3, 4, probably Reverie as well, then take a break, then, maybe, grammatical, yeah, minor spelling mistake, and it's the gif of the dude getting nuked. Majima! He's off to find his Kiryu. Except his Kiryu isn't down here. Toturi is down here with Anora and Snake. But yeah, I haven't actually like committed to any of the games yet, so I don't really have an opinion on. One man loves them. One man genuinely loves them, so he's the guy to go to if you want to get an opinion on them. But I am looking forward to Daybreak. And eventually Daybreak 2 when that inevitably gets its Western announcement and whatever the new one is. And I don't know if I'll do Boundless Trails or whatever that spin-off is. But now I've been hearing mixed reports that maybe some parts of Boundless Trails might get referenced in the main canon later. So I'm like, oh, okay, so I probably should play it at some point then. If there's a chance like some events of it or some parts of it might get referenced in later titles. And if the 'cause there's a few interviews recently that imply that like they still think Trails of the Sky is the best way to get into the series because it's like the start of the series, and it's getting people thinking that maybe a remastered trilogy of those games is coming at some point. And if that's the case, then even better, because then I can actually cover all of it from start to finish. And what I'll do with my playlist, I mean, like when there's only a couple of them, then I will probably do like I'll probably keep them on separate playlists. But if there's a point where I've covered like 6 or 7 of them, I might put it all into one big playlist, but just put them in like story order. So like not stream order, like story order. So like if I then go back and stream Trails of Sky, I'll put it at the top of the playlist, sort of thing. Start with Sky Racing on the console, yeah. Fucking the cool Squirtles from the Pokemon animes arrived. Look at this guy. We have 2 unnamed ducks, by the way, just to throw that out to you guys. We have this one with the stars across it, and we have the skiing duck fucking currently stuck in the ice because there's no fire duck to melt it yet. I mean, also it depends how much I end up liking Trails when I actually get into it proper. I genuinely, despite finding it a little slow, I genuinely enjoyed the few hours I spent with it. Was it a month ago? Was it 2 months already? Ugh. I think it might have been a couple months ago already. Yeah, Star Rail takes inspiration from a lot of Trails combat. Even I noticed that pretty quick. The way of being able to have your ultimates build up over time in the background, and then you can rip them out at any point, even interrupting fights. That's Trails. That's some Trails influence. I don't know why this snowmobile is just bullying Toturi. Leave her alone. This snowmobile has a vendetta for for teen girls, apparently. Did I get into it? Yeah, fair. How's the story of Cold Steel? So I haven't played Cold Steel, so that you're asking one man. Oh, the ice cube got down here. I know bits and pieces from like parts that one man have told me. I don't remember everything he told me, which I kind of which is kind of in my favor because then I don't get spoiled. Now I'm trying, like, might be getting more into the series, sort of thing. Well, different themes and settings. Yeah, the entire franchise, as far as I'm aware, is basically split into different story arcs, and each story arc has like different leads, different like settings, different kind of tones at times. Like they are very much like different beasts. It's like going to a different saga in Atelier, where it's like sometimes some of them really take radical changes, whilst all still being kind of sort of connected. Well, no, Atelier games aren't always sort of connected, but you know what I mean. So it's like the Sky Trilogy, Zero, Azure, the 4 Cold Steels, Reverie, and then Daybreak, which is coming out next year. Anime-ish and contemporary war fiction. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I kind of got like, you're a detective out to like solve the mysteries from Trails from Zero with like your fancy pants gang of misfits. So I was like, okay, this could be kind of fun. And Sky's more akin to an Odyssey in drama. Oh, interesting. The only thing I'll warn you about, and this is more just from what I've heard, I'm sure one man will vouch, is that some of the twists, not in every Trails game, but some of the twists in them are very morbidly dark and kind of disturbing, and it might make you uncomfortable. Not all of them, like, it's just from the odd bits one man's told me from time to time, some of the twists can be a little hard to swallow, and if you're not good with that, it might be a little bit of a turn-off. If you can handle it, or you're up for it sort of thing, then I'd say go ahead, probably. Like, I had a lot of fun playing Zero, even though I only played for a few hours. Particularly Zero and Sky Third, yeah. Which is great, because Zero's the one I'm starting on. It's like, oh boy. Changing subject slightly, do you have any names for our starry friend here? Yeah, don't say any more, one man. Don't spoil anything. That's begs for actually more consistent storytelling continuity. And someone who's played through Danganronpa, I could take it. Yeah. Name it Oscar? Yeah, alright, dude. Also, Fabled, if you're ever wondering what we're talking about when we're talking about Kuro, Kuro is the Japanese name for Daybreak, the new one coming out in the West. Where is Starman? Oh, he's way over here inside. But the difference is, Fabled, in that it makes it like Dangan, you know what to expect off the rip. There's a lot of very fucking dark and disturbing shit, especially that whole inbred bullshit that in V3. That is like really creepy and like cultish and ugh. But you expect it off the rip because it doesn't pretend to be anything else. The Trails series tend to be kind of good vibe games with really dark twists, so you can have more of that shock effect value. And to be fair, one man, you've only seen the first two games. You haven't seen V3. V3 tries extra fucking hard to be super edgy and dark for a lot of it. It's part of the long list of reasons why I think it's the weakest one. Because I feel like it leans too hard to trying to be overly self-serious. But I liked how it was kind of like almost... not campy, it's the wrong word for it, but kind of cheeky about some of its darker shit in the first two games. Whilst V3 sells itself too straight, and so some of the dark shit just comes across really tragically dark, is why I genuinely don't like Chapter 4 in that game, because it's miserable. The whole chapter makes you miserable, because it's just like, hey, this good person's forced to do something horrible, and now you have to kill them. Tough shit. And you're like, great. And then they make you spend 2 fucking hours straight after the fact dealing with it, and you're like, great. I love this story arc. It's really effing bad, yeah. But the most important thing, and from what I've been told, not just from one but from other people that Trails from Zero do, is that having really, really dark twists, it can very easily fall into just being edgy. You know, like, oh, look at us, haven't we got our evil dark twist? And it just makes you go, ugh. You know, like, it kind of takes the suction out of it. From what I've been told, the Trails games don't do that. They really well deliver and make their twists make sense. So you don't get BS'd, or like, you know, have that like trying too hard to be dark and morbid. It genuinely makes sense. It's just it hurts. Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like they're not trying. They don't do the twists in Trails to like be like, oh, look at the evil, horrible, morbid stuff we're doing. It makes sense in its story. It's a lot, yeah. I genuinely I am glad V3 is recording blocked. And I'm dreading if it ever gets like a PS5 remaster. Like, Tales of Berseria is a recording block that I hate, and I want a PS5 remaster to do away with it. Danganronpa V3, I don't want to get a PS5 remaster, because if it does, I will have the obligation to stream it. Because I've streamed all the other Danganronpa games, but I genuinely have huge fucking problems with V3, and Chapter 4 genuinely makes me miserable. Chapter 4 of that game is one of the most miserable video game experiences I've had in recent years. And not even like as in like, oh, it's sad and tragic, as in I was genuinely just in a foul mood after I'd done with it. I just felt so unhappy. The whole story of Chapter 4 is an evil manipulative shit getting away with everything and forcing you to kill the kindest soul of the entire franchise. And it's each chapter in Danganronpa V3 are close to 11 hours long. And you clock on to what's going on very early on, and you're forced to play into the game, and it just makes the entire experience really miserable. You just watch a very kind and honest soul just get completely manipulated and bullshitted into a very cold and, like, heartless death. Meanwhile, the little shit that manipulated everything's laughing all the while, and you can't do anything to him. And you're just like, great, I'm so glad we did this for, like, an entire 11-hour story arc. I'm so glad that this is a chapter they put in this fucking game. Ah, yes, the memories, yeah. That's like, ugh. And it's like, because I remember, like, when I talked about V3, when I first finished it and did a video talking about it, I said I loved Case 1, even if I thought the shock twist ending of Case 1 was a little bit, like, I thought it was just okay. Oh, it's actually like a proper rubber duck. Like, all the rest go quack, this one goes... It also looks a bit dirty. Look at it. It looks like it's a bit dirty of a rubber duck. But you've got a buddy, YouTube chat. You've got a distant, like, sibling. Oh yeah, UDG. UDG is a whole other topic of morbidness that can make people a little uncomfortable, because every single chapter of that game talks about child abuse from a different angle. And it's... Oh, okay, he's got rid of all the stink. What the fuck? Oh, it's some... Was it a mallard? He just had to go fucking shit everywhere? Come on, you're ruining the pool. I don't think V3 is terrible. I still enjoy V3. It's just V3, for my opinion, is the weakest game in the series. And I genuinely don't like Chapter 4. But the rest of the game I genuinely do. Like, Chapter 1 I think is great. I just think the shock twist ending of the first case should have been the other way around, and it still would have hit. It should have been that... I know it would have completely changed the entire narrative, but the detective should have been the killer of Case 1. Or should have been accused the killer of Case 1. Not who ends up being. And I feel like if they'd done it that way around, it still would have had shock value, because it's someone that you would have trusted off the rip now being the baddie. But it would have just, I don't know, I would have appreciated it more, because it felt a little pulled out of its arse to get the one good main character of the franchise, of the main series at least, and then just do away with them after Chapter 1. It's like, thanks. Chapter 2, I always give kudos to, because it's the only case in the entire franchise that I didn't actually know who the killer was when it got to the point at the end of the case file where you have to actually accuse someone. Everyone else, you always, even if you're not paying that much attention, you kind of get a vibe of who it is, or realize straight up who it is, long before it gets to the point where it asks you, who do you think the killer is? In case 2, I straight up did not realize it was the maid until I literally had to sit down, pause the game, and think it out for like a few minutes, and then take a wild guess thinking I was wrong, just to end up being right. And so I gave it kudos for that, because it's the only case in the entire series where it makes sense, but they don't spell anything out for you, so you actually had to figure it out. Case 3 could have been the one time in a Danganronpa game they had a good Chapter 3, and then they soiled it with the entire second half. The first half was great. Everything built up and made sense. One person was making a lot of priority of themselves, was like really pushing ahead and making themselves a target. It made sense that someone was going to go from eventually. Everyone had a problem with this one character, so when they die, it's an open mystery of like, okay, who had enough of a problem to kill them? And then everything after that immediately spells out exactly who it is. He gets a free kill on another genuinely interesting character, just because. And then the entire case falls apart into, it's clearly just him. Also, hello, Solomon. Is that Jarju? Is that how you pronounce it? With your gibberish message. And it's a Chapter 4 I genuinely don't like. I genuinely don't like Chapter 4 at all. The entire case reeked, and I just wasn't a fan of it. Chapter 5 I thought was pretty cool, but I was a little burnt out, so I didn't really appreciate it, because I went straight from Chapter 4 into Chapter 5. But I thought Chapter 5 was a pretty cool twist on the formula, especially because Monokuma doesn't even know who the killer is when usually he does. So it's kind of like a mind game you have to play to try and figure out who it is for the sake of everyone else. While at the same time, you don't really want to give it away too much, because if Monokuma catches on, he can continue playing the game. And then Case 6 is just a complete mind mess. It fell into what I called the Saw problem. Where if anyone who's never watched the horror films Saw, the biggest problem with the Saw films is that each film desperately wanted to outdo the twist of the previous one, and it eventually reached a point where the twist became nonsensical as a result. That's what V3 does. V3 tries to have a bigger twist than Danganronpa 2, and all it ends up doing is pushing the boat out too far and becoming too nonsensical. And yeah, the whole thing with V3's main message... Also, Liddy's just joined us. Suli isn't around yet, but we've got one of the twins. The whole thing with V3 being a meta commentary about how you don't want your favorite franchises to go on forever, and a lot of the themings of it are deliberately repetitive to try and hammer it in, felt kind of hollow and felt kind of like you could have done this a bit better. Especially because as soon as the game came out, the director came out and went, oh, by the way, V3 is not canon to any of the previous Danganronpa games. So it's like, okay, so it doesn't even fucking matter. You've literally, like, you made it a, hey, you don't want these games to keep on going forever, and then decanonized it because people were upset that you told them that. And it's like, so you didn't even commit to your messaging. Because for those who don't know, the reason why it's called V3 and not free is because the V stands for 5. Because the whole message of the game is actually the Danganronpa, like the murder game cycle, has happened so many times that it's being televised and means nothing. And it's actually the 53rd killing game and not the 3rd. And everyone in the world actually just watches it because it's just a TV show, and all the people within the game are just paid actors that willingly got their minds wiped to play the game. Or like paid volunteers who engage in the game sort of thing. So, and it also tries to then retroactively imply that Danganronpa 1 and Danganronpa 2 were also the same. They were people that voluntarily gave up their lives, paid to become part of the program, had their memories wiped, and then had like their new personalities installed to them to then fulfill the role of the video game you were playing. And that kind of, I don't mind meta commentary here and there depending on how it handles, but that's so in your face to not only like shut down any amount of caring or feeling you had towards the cast, but then retroactively attack the previous games as well, really rubbed me the wrong way. And it doesn't surprise me that it was decanonized after public backlash like immediately. The idea of saying, hey, any character you ever liked across the entire franchise isn't real, even in the context of its own universe, is the sort of shit you don't do. You know? It's that if you're attached to any of those characters, and you're just told, hey, by the way, their personality is made up, even within the lore and story of its own timeline, to serve a TV show you were participating in, that's the sort of shit that just makes you never want to touch a game again, touch one of those games again. So making it not canon, it's like, yeah, that was the smartest move. It really did feel like you just kind of got, like, sucker punched for ever caring about any character across the franchise. Oh, you cared about Gundam's heroics? Well, it wasn't actually Gundam, it was a personality installed into him that he willingly volunteered to have, to serve a role for the TV show. Oh, you cared about the relationship between the main two characters in the first game? Oh, it's all made up. It was in their chip to have them be, like, mutually connected to one another. And it's just like, fuck off. You know, like, it just got me a long way a lot by the end of it. I had a bit of a rant at the time about it, because I just really wasn't happy about it. Especially as someone who is extremely empathetic towards, you know, video game characters because of my background. That sort of stuff just really, like, hit me where it was hard. What game had the most morbidly unsettling moment for you? That's a hard question. That genuinely is a hard question off the top of my head. I mean, like, we're just talking about Danganronpa, so I guess that's a good segue into UDG. UDG's Chapter 3, talking about sexual abuse for a whole chapter, and their way of talking about it is to try and make you experience it. That was, funnily enough, not comfortable. That funnily enough, was not a comfortable chapter at fucking all, because the main character is, like, 14 years old as well, and you're watching her nearly get, like, the uglies happens to her, to be mild for people who might not want to hear it. And I don't want to not make people uncomfortable, but it's like, no. It's like, no, that was like, I'm good, thanks, I don't want that. Far Cry 5 with Bioshock, that's fair. I mean, the obvious answer would be pick a horror game, but I honestly think games that aren't horror, that then do morbid shit, hit harder because you don't expect it as much. Like, when it comes to a horror game, like, you go into, like, a committed horror game, and, like, the spine gets ripped out of, like, your favorite character, you're like, well, it's a horror game, you knew the risk. Oh, Rocket... Serval! Oh, Star Rail representation, our Queen Rocket Chick is back. So when it's something that's not horror, that then does something kind of wild and morbid, I'm like, oh, hell yeah, you know? It makes more of an impression. But I don't actually know exactly what my direct answer would be, because I'd have to think about it a lot, Fabled. It's a good question, though, if it's making me think. Yeah, one man, you hit the nail on the head about how I kind of felt about V3. A lot of V3 feels like it's actively pointing at you, the viewer, and saying this is your fault, by the way. And it just kind of made me go, ugh. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, if they, like, killed a Genshin character in a very, like, visceral way, because it's not a horror experience that you go in for Genshin, it would catch me more off guard, and make me go, what the fuck? I mean, when La Senora got turned to ash, that kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting her to die, you know? I still need to actually experience Undertale. I got really put off of it when it first coming around. Like, it looked cool, it looked exciting, and then, to be mild, the fan base made themselves extremely well known. And anytime I tried to have any, like, talk about, like, oh, should I go? I just got a lot of weird people shouting at me, and eventually just kind of put me off. I was like, oh, I'll play it in my own time. It's not a game I'd ever play on stream, because I wouldn't want to attract any, potentially problematic people, shall we say. But at some point, I do want to play it properly. Like, there are, like, it's not like some games I don't mind playing, even if they have got weird fan bases. Danganronpa's got a super fucking weird fan base. But I managed to, thankfully, even for my 2 playthroughs, get away with not being too engaged with them. Like, they've got a super antagonistic and weird fan base, unfortunately. Pet Resurrected definitely not coping. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because Undertale, like, if you're going for the genocide route, that's like, you have to commit to that, don't you? You have to literally, like, hunt down and kill every enemy until the game literally says there are no more enemies in this area. And then do it repeatedly for the whole game. Turning the game into a bit of, like, a big grind. But hey, you're the one going for like, the miserable ending. You're the one trying to get that super boss. You know, with Sans Undertale. But yeah, UDG. I mean, UDG does have a bit more of a grim premise to begin with, so it kind of, like, you know what to expect. But, like, Chapter 1, hey, let's have the whole chapter talking about physical abuse. What? Chapter 2, hey, let's have the entire topic talking about mental abuse. What? Chapter 3, sexual abuse. Chapter 4 is talking about manipulation and loneliness. You're like, oh, okay. And it's like, once again, it's all about children. Oh. All the villains are deranged, morbid children that have been had their lives actively ruined by the events of their lives, and then fallen under the wing of Junko, so got really messed up. And then Chapter 5 is someone becoming a ringleader and part of the problem from their past experiences. There's Monica becoming part of the abuse cycle because of her experiences. It's just like, hey man, none of this game is really comfortable. All the villains are 10-year-olds that are out to murder everyone, and they do it through, like, based on their background of trauma, and each chapter, because of the theming of their trauma, tries to make you experience what they experienced. So Chapter 1 tries to have you experience, like feel what it's like to be under physical abuse. Chapter 2 plays mind games with you. Chapter 3 terrifies a lot of people, and is one of the big reasons why some people don't touch the game. The moment they hear that Chapter 3 handles sexual abuse by making you, the player, try and experience it, that kind of puts people off, funnily enough. Chapter 4 is creepy as shit as well because of manipulation, and you literally see this 10-year-old get manipulated right in front of you into doing some genuinely terrible things. Imiko! Because she's a bit molten, she's a bit fiery. Like UDG is my second favourite Danganronpa, but it's also the one I find hardest to recommend. And it's not even because of the game itself, it's because of the contents of what it talks about. It really, really wants to make you feel uncomfortable about certain topics as it goes on, and it does a very good job at it, for better or worse. Sorry, I feel conflicted on it. Yeah, a lot of people will feel the same way you do. Like, UDG is, like, I hesitate to say controversial because that's not the right word for it. Like, it's not that controversial since some people, like, get angry about it, but it is very much split down the middle. Some people are like me, where it's like, yeah, the shit's kind of weird and whack, but I like the game for what it is. So I genuinely think it's my second favorite Danganronpa. I enjoy the game and I enjoy the story at large. But there's also another side of it that go, whoa, no, this game goes way over boundaries and kind of pushes itself in the wrong ways, and I don't want to experience that. And I'm like, that, and like, I think that's fair too. Like, that's why I say it's like the hardest one to recommend, because like, if you haven't experienced all of Danganronpa, I'd say it is worth a shot. However, if any of those topics, even if they don't make you uncomfortable, they just rub you the wrong way for one reason or another, I struggle to recommend it because I can't stress enough how in your face it's going to be. So if you don't like it when it's being subtle, you're not going to like it when you're knee-deep in Chapter 3. You know? You're really not going to like it then. When the game stops pretending it's, and to have any subtlety about what it wants to talk about and starts being very fucking blunt and in your face about it. Thankfully, it's a shorter game and the easiest platinum in the series. Because it's literally just beat the game, find the collectibles. Oh, and get an A rank on every chapter, but I can't stress enough, if you're getting all the collectibles boost your points to the rank, you're gonna get the A rank on every chapter anyway. Yeah, good idea, because it's not always a likable one. Yeah, exactly. And it's also one that if UDG ever... Because UDG has a recording block on it for every chapter after the prologue, so it's literally... You don't get to see any of that on stream, like if you're recording normally. At the time when I went through it, a few people told me that the reason why it got recording blocks wasn't because of spoilers, it was because of content. That, because of the, some of the content and subject matter of it, they decided to put a recording block on it, so it's like, if you're experiencing it, you're not throwing it out at everyone who might not be ready for it, who might just kind of hop in on a stream, not realize what's going on, and suddenly you get met with, like, you know, child abuse talk. Which I still think is a bit like, whatever. But it's one of those things, it's just like, it was something that ends up being a blessing in disguise, because it meant I didn't have to stream that game, and have to, like, deal with all that stuff on the fly. But if it ever does get a remaster or whatever, when I do stream it, almost every chapter, I'd have a different content warning in the pinned comment. Because, yeah, there's bound to be something that will, like, be upsetting or triggering for someone in that game. Because it's just the nature of how it is. I was stressing the hell out when it was pushing me to push the damn button at the end of UDG. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, in Chapter 5, there's a button that basically will kill every single child in the city, but it will also stop the problem. Or you can choose not to press it, and the children will still live, but there's still a huge problem. And everything in the game tries to make you push the button to kill the kids. And they keep it going for like an hour straight, where they will do everything in their power to make you press that fucking button. And if you do, you immediately get the bad ending because you just committed mass genocide on kids. Congratulations. And they just like, the ending of Chapter 5 is just weird. Except for that. I think either the concept or the meta concept can work away from each other. What makes it horror is the combination of the meta. Oh yeah, because if you put V3 in the matter, you're also saying none of UDG matters. If you put V3's context in, which is probably another reason why V3 was ultimately decanonized. Because it's like there's just too many negative implications. Especially because they show UDG footage in V3 when they're talking about it, because they knew what they were doing when they did that. Yeah, indulging either contents, but together they don't work. Yeah, I agree. And that's why, like, with Danganronpa as a franchise... more fairies! Sorry, to lighter topics! Sorry. That's what I know, that's what I'm saying, like... But it's like, It's why, like, when I talk about Danganronpa series, now I've experienced all of them, I feel like the first one's worth experiencing, and it's very much enjoyable, even if some of the writing's a little whatever. And the second game's really fun. But then after that, it's like, you're on your own. If you want to experience V3 and UDG, be my guest. But I'm not going to be here and be like, yeah, they're amazing games, you should absolutely play them, because they've both got problems. And I can't, in any good conscience, recommend the Summer Camp spin-off. The summer camp spin-off is just, hey, do you want to play like chess, but it's a full price game? Like, I'm good, thanks. Or like Monopoly, sorry, not chess. Monopoly, but it's like a full price game. Nah, I'm good, thanks. And it's got like the one of the worst platinumness in the franchise. Because Summer Camp's the only Danganronpa I haven't platinumed, and I honestly have no interest in changing that. Danganronpa 1, platinuming it takes about 10 hours after you finish the game. It's not too bad. Dangan 2 takes about 15 hours after you finish it. Once again, not too bad. UDG, there isn't a post game. You're literally done when you finish. So it's like, if you just have a guide on standby to find the collectibles, it's a super easy platinum. Danganronpa V3's platinum can fucking rot in hell. Whoever decided, hey, that's gonna make it so you have to play a minigame that takes over 100 hours, and there's a trophy for not only finishing the minigame to its absolute conclusion, but there's also a trophy for finishing it 53 fucking times. Whoever came up with that idea, I hope they're having a very sad life right now. Whoever it was, just for the sake of the gimmick of the game is, hey, beat the game 53 times, rot in hell. Rot in hell. That was not a fun trophy. I have, well, like, Danganronpa V3 has, like, my playtime on it's, like, close to 200 hours, and that isn't because I wanted to play it for close to 200 hours, that's just because the platinuming it required me to take that long. And the summer camp just being the Monopoly game again, but now there's more characters, and there's more mechanics, and there's more trophies tied to it, so it will take even longer. I'm like, no, I'm good. Also, the curtain over here is completely open now. This duck, if you zoom in on it, will give you information towards the Easter egg. But I'm not, I'm not first. We still haven't got a fire duck of any kind, so our snowmobile's still stuck. Also, we haven't named, I'm just gonna call him Frozone, fuck it. There you go. Where is my super suit? There we go. Your Big Shore Incredibles reference. Oh, sorry, one man. Yeah, I was reading. That's what I was kind of like, because I did talk about it as well. I was saying about like, the fact that it's both got the whole everything's not real because of the meta bullshit, while also having a game talking about abuse, it kind of makes a really bad implication about it. That's what I said, I completely agreed with you when I said it. And it just makes both of them kind of uncomfortable when you put them together as a result, because it makes a real, not only makes like a weird statement about the game, but it also makes kind of a weird statement about the writers inadvertently. But I did read what you put, one man. I've got it set to all messages, so I didn't miss anything. What do you mean, so I did miss it? Ugh. If there's like a distance between creator and viewer, a good idea is in concept but not always a likable one. I think that either that concept or the meta concept can work with each other. What makes it horrid is a combination of the meta and the perspective of the abused. But when you combine both, this game doesn't matter, and that tries to be a pretty much hard pill to swallow. Yeah, isn't that why what message then? Yeah, but I was reading what you were talking about, because, that's what we've been talking about. Don't know what messages I've been missing, my dude. Sorry. I don't know where I've missed it. Anyway, new duck coming. Is it actually a new duck? Was it another returner? Boom, boom. Pseudo Wudo! Oh, wooden boy. We don't have a fire duck. All the fire boys are shy. At least we got 2 Pokemon in the pool now. Jacko and Pseudo Wudo. Oscar is moving away from Squid. I don't want that fucking duck. I don't want that turtle. Get out of here. It's like YouTube chat can look after Squirtle. Instead of, like, rubbing up the serval. I get it, she's hot. I get it, she's hot, but you don't need to keep rubbing up the serval. Meanwhile, Sophie's just vibing over here. She's just watching over all the kids. Like a real big sister type. Oh, actually, she's about to have company. She's about to have company literally land on her face. Totori, Himiko, and Majima. That's a trio. That's a trio. About to come down, raining down. Wait. I don't think it's popping up one, man. So I've got it on all messages, but the last message I got before that one is just one that says one about UDG. So I think there's like that message isn't popping up for one reason or another, my guy. But then, to be fair, speaking of considering the subject matter, there is a good chance that it's just like, depending on what it is, like because it's the UDG subject matter as a whole, it's just not allowing it. Which I wouldn't put it past it, because YouTube's policies have gotten stricter in recent years about things like that, which is fair enough. It's ultimately about protecting people, and I get it, because I wouldn't want someone hopping on this stream that could be sensitive about those subject matters more viscerally, and then go check the chat and they just read all that, or whatever, you know? If it's something that could be uncomfortable. Or discomforting. Bang bang. Give me a yodelay hee hoo. I know it's coming. Give me some yodeling. Give me some yodeling. Yeah! Basically, the uncanny valley effect between UDG's game and the opening theme. Oh, what you mean that one track that always gets in the head? You mean that opening theme? What do you mean the actual like opening theme song? Game of the playing that game while the OST is playing. Yeah, I think I've mentioned it before that UDG soundtrack as a whole is. I genuinely don't mind it. I actually like some of the tracks, but it is weird. Yeah, yeah. That one. Oh, Furious just got bonked to the side. It's like another sentence I never thought I'd say. Majima is protecting Furious. There's a lot of thirsts for sentences today. Where am I? My wife is still buried at the bottom of the pool on her own. Also, we're getting a lot of familiars, considering there's a lot of other ducks that aren't familiar that we could be getting. What's going through the game? Yeah, I completely agree. Wait until you hear the boss themes when you actually fight the kids. When you get into if you get into a fight in certain parts of the game with the kids that have gone through that abuse and whatnot, they have like this super hyper aggressive like rock track playing, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? But it's like kind of like techie rock, so it's like not like aggressive as in like bloodthirsty rock. It's like kind of like trying to make you groove more. And it's like it's just you sit and you go, what? Oh, there I am, cool, and I shall appear. Hang on. There's Kurumi. Where's me? There I am! Reunited. Well, I think I landed on her, so rolled away a little bit, but kind of reunited. Oh, it's Fierce and Himiko protecting Majima. Yeah, to be fair, considering Himiko has a satellite laser beam and Fierce is an alchemist, there's a good chance it's that way around, because I don't think Majima would even remotely understand what the fuck's going on with those two if they tried to explain it. He'd just be like, you two aren't Kiryu-chan. There's Ichiban, technically. Oh yeah, he does, isn't he? He technically has a satellite laser. It's been a while since I played Yacht Like a Dragon, so that wasn't immediately on my mind. Speaking of, we're not too far. We're 1 month away, Infinite Wealth. And like a month away, everything else that's coming out. Not a month and a bit away, everything else is coming out, because Jesus Christ, too much is coming out in too short a time span. Can have it at the certain level of the bodyguard class. Oh, fair enough. Who just got shoved? Is that Liddy? Liddy getting pushed to the side. Oh, a Noah and no one else, because it's invisible. Is going out that way. So Steve, Oscar, Sudowoodo, Squirtle, and Fierce are vibing down here. Well, it's Jack Skellington. When did Jack Skellington join? I don't remember seeing him. An actual Robert Dark, YouTube chat, Todori, Ted, Serval, Frozone, who still hasn't been melted out, Margilu, Snake, Sophie, and Himiko all up here. So lasers. Yeah. It'd be great for the Kiryu boss fight. Kiryu's like ready to like Tiger drop you and you just laser beam him. Yeah. But yeah, next month... Sorry, I had something in my throat, so I just mute my mic for a second. But next month, and going into February... Fucking... Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, there's the Ace Attorney Apollo Justice trilogy, there's Lara Croft Tomb Raider Remastered trilogy, there's potentially... been leaked that the Elden Ring DLC's in February, which I was like, God damn it, not come on. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, which I'm super excited for, is literally like the start of February. Persona 3 Reload is February. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth is February. There's too much shit. There's just too much. Oh, and for like the one person who cares, fucking Suicide Squad's like start of February. When is the trilogy coming out? Let me double check. I know it's January. Trilogy release date is January 24th. January the 24th. And the real beauty is that it comes with a green screen mode that you can put any character on with any pose and then put a green screen over them. And I'm like, that's gonna open the floodgates for easily accessible making your own story pieces. That's gonna open so many floodgates for people. Yeah, there's way too much coming out in too short a time span. But I've genuinely been really getting into like Grand Blue story and like Grand Blue stuff. Like I haven't played the original Grand Blue Fantasy, and I'm not about to because I've got enough gachas on the binge. but I've seen bits of the anime and it looks pretty damn good. And I genuinely love the character stories in Versus, the fighting game. I think a lot of the character stories make a lot of the characters really interesting, and I want to learn more about them. And Relink being like a full RPG, it's like, yes, I'm ready. So probably ought to do that, sure. I know. A fucking Mikoto! We've got... All we're missing is Army, and then we've got the Krymarkina cast. But I don't think I've got an Army duck. If one lands in a wheelchair, it's called Army. That'd be a bit mean. Or you can make your own. Yeah, I know people have already been making their own, and it's already green screen stuff. But actually having it on an official capacity that literally anyone who owns the game can just access is gonna do wonders for that. At least in my humble opinion. Who's here, like the owner of the lake? Oh, of course it's Cena. And the fact that you can do it with all the 3D models and make them move around and whatnot, and have multiple in there, or mess around with their positioning, or like do random poses and shit, I'm just like, people are gonna mess with this. But I can already smell the bullshit that's gonna come out of it. Or if it's text generation. True. We'll see. And hopefully it'll do well enough that we'll actually get like another game soon. Oh, sorry, excuse me. Whether it's be a new... because people have been wanting an Investigations remaster, because Investigations 2 never left Japan originally. People have been wanting Investigations collection for those games for forever. Some people want a third Great Ace Attorney, you know, like the British one. A lot of people just want Ace Attorney 7, which I get. It's like it's been years since Spirit of Justice. Where's that plane? I can hear it. There it is. So I'm hoping like it will just, you know, spur them on to make another one soon. There's a few things I hope I do well just for the sake of leading to more. Like the Tomb Raider Remaster 1, 2, 3. I really hope that does well because I want them to do 4, 5, and 6. And my ultimate goal is that I'd love to see a Legend Trilogy Remaster. I've been talking about Legend Trilogy Remaster since literally my Let's Play days. It's one of my biggest wishes. I want a Legend Trilogy Remaster. Because I would stream all 3 games back to back on this channel without hesitation. Because I love those games so much. Especially Anniversary. Anniversary is one of my all-time favourite games. Legend is fantastic, Anniversary is godly, and Underworld is pretty good. Even if I think Underworld's the weakest of the 3, I still really enjoy it. And Underworld was like the very last Tomb Raider to actually be Tomb Raider, because after Underworld was when they rebooted it into the whole Survivor stuff. Which, although I've come around to, and I do enjoy the Survivor era or the reboot era more nowadays than I used to, it still doesn't compare to a lot of the classics in my eyes. And just wasn't as enjoyable. It got there. I like Shadow of the Tomb Raider a lot, but it was never quite the same. Like Tomb Raider 2013, I think it's just pretty fun, but not much to it. Rise was getting there, but still had problems. Shadow, I love the Tomb Expeditions. I just wish they weren't optional. I wish they were more on the main path and made it feel more like a true Tomb Raider, instead of just being all these optional side things that you might go out of your way to do, you might not. Because Shadow of the Tomb Raider's optional tombs actually started to make the game feel like Tomb Raider again. And I hope, whatever the next Tomb Raider may be, that they lean more into that. Because we know they're working on another one, and it scares the shit out of me, because they're getting Marvelified, and I fucking hate that trend of how many franchises are doing it, where they want all the versions of Lara to come under one roof. They want all 3 versions of Lara to be the same character, and I'm just like, that's not going to happen without a lot of compromise. And that might be why the game's taking so long to be developed, because they might be changing that, or at least I hope that's what's happening. Because I'd rather just a good game than them try and make 3 vastly different characters that happen to share a name suddenly become the same character. Because classic Lara, legend Lara, and survivor Lara are genuinely just different people. There's no two way around it. There's a cold but flirtatious go-getter in classic. There's a complete adrenaline junkie with anger management issues in legend, and there's a desperate pained survivor in survivor. You can't tell me they're the same people. You just can't. The three characters have been designed and built up in different ways too differently to then suddenly make out that they're the same person. Especially because Lara has gone through her first kill in all three games, in all three sagas. So which one's the real one? You know? All three sagas have had a moment where Lara's had to kill her first human, and how she responds to it and how she feels about it. Hey, it's on Benny! And how they feel about it. Which one's the real one then? And it better be Anniversary, and that's not even my bias. Anniversary handled it the best, because she was in the middle of a mission and she couldn't stop. And so when she killed her first person, she looks at her hand, even though there's no blood on it, she feels like there is, so she brushes her hand on her jeans, and then forces herself to carry on. And when she kills her second person, she hardens up to it by closing her fist and then carrying on. And that's enough. They don't tell you anything, you can see it. That the fear turns into determination, and she just has to carry on. Whilst in Survivor, she puts an arrow in a dude and then cries about it to her father figure for like the next 20 minutes to really hammer in how much it's had an impact on her well-being. It's like, okay, shut up. As soon as this cutscene ends, we're going to kill 3 more people, so it has no impact. You know? Like, it ends up blurring it a little bit, because the moment the cutscene ends of her crying about killing someone, you immediately kill another 6 people. And she doesn't say anything then, because video game. Yeah, I entirely get the argument that you're making one, man, but that's not something I feel that they should have to do to just try and make 3 different versions of a character work. I would rather them just leave them separate. I'd rather the next Tomb Raider game just be more of the survivor Lara, and just now that she's done her whole maturity arc, just let her be the mature character now, instead of the one that always lets her survivor instinct overrule any logic. Because that's literally the events of Shadow. As much as I genuinely defend Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Shadow of the Tomb Raider wouldn't have happened if Lara just took a step back and fought for a second. But because she inserted herself into the problem through her own instinctive desire, she literally made the apocalypse nearly happen in that game, and then had to like fix all the pieces again. And I'm surprised Jonah didn't shout at her more, because he really had every right he could have. If I was in Jonah's shoes, I would have ripped her head off. It's like, hey, you literally eviscerated an entire town and murdered dozens of innocent people just because you got greedy and picked up a fucking artifact. Congratulations. And instead of caring about those people, you're immediately saying, hey, we need to go get that artifact again. I would have not been Lara's friend anymore if I was in Jonah's shoes after that. But for some reason, Jonah just says, no, sort your shit out, and then it says, alright, I'll still follow you. It's like, come on. But I can't be mad at Jonah. Jonah's like the one good character in the Survivor trilogy. I always have time for that man. Just how I could be that guy you want me to. That sounds like a threat. I'm kidding. It's like, I could be the guy that answers all your problems. No! And the only reason I care so much is because I genuinely love the franchise. Like, I wouldn't be like, no, they combine the characters there, they can do whatever they want. If it wasn't for the fact that I genuinely care about, even though I have my problems with Survivor, I genuinely care about all versions of the character, and genuinely care about all versions of the franchise. I might like some more than others, but I still care about it all. It's one of the most significant franchises of my childhood, so of course I do. With even subtext. Yeah, but that's because subtext is a thing that writers trust you to be able to understand. That you have the vendetta against. I mean, I get it. Bad subtext can be brutal. If someone's just like, hey, you can figure it out. It's like, figure out what? Thanks. But there are some games that do a lot of work in just trusting you to not have to spell it out for you, and I genuinely love it for it. But I know that's a preference difference, so I won't start that. I won't open that can of worms. I know that's a preference difference. Or any more than it's already been opened. Tom, I know you're gonna do your flying shit. I kind of want him to get lost, and I mean that lovingly, so I can show off this where he goes through the telescope. So like lovingly, like Tom Petty, I mean this as a friend. I think I don't think he's a terrible person in real life. I hope he isn't. But as a potential friend, assuming you're not a prick in real life, fuck off, go away. Ah, nearly. How's it going down the vibe? Serval, YouTube chat, Duck, Majima, Oscar, Margilu, Himiko. Squirtle and Totally are vibing a bit. Uh-oh. The Zambodi is coming out. That's what it's called. My brain finally came together. From a couple hours ago, I was going to the snowmobile. The snow thing. Snow. My brain was not having it. I was still too asleep, I guess. Oh, I clicked on the cyborg. I didn't mean to click on the cyborg. I was trying to click on the duck next to it. I don't think the ghost has spawned. Not that we'd be able to tell. Is that Tom going? Oh, he's turbo gone. Alright, bye, Tom. In the arms of an angel. Fly away. Anyway, he's our new duck. It's the Nickelodeon Slime Award duck. You don't need subtext. It's not about that. Every time we talk about like subtext, my point is always subtext is about respecting your audience to be able to figure out themselves. You don't always need to be like, hey, this is exactly what's happening. And like, especially like in some games' case, like Crystar was great at it. It felt better that I figured it out for myself. That the game didn't tell me it. I went, oh shit, no, Nanana hung herself. You know, that I figured that out just from reading in between the lines of what the game was saying. Whilst if they just told it to me, it wouldn't have been as impactful for me. It would have been like, oh god, that happened? Oh wow. You know? But they didn't show. They give you a line about someone hanging themselves, and then you learn that the scars come from trauma. And the scars come from the origin of trauma, like their contract scar. So you realise from that Nanana has that contract scar around her neck. She's the one who hung herself. They don't tell you she was the one that hung herself. You figure it out. That's literally a subtext. That's you reading between the lines. Because they're not you don't see her hang herself. You are the one that has to realise that, hey, the tattooed contract marking around her neck, the contact marking is supposed to be a form of origin of trauma. And then you learn that at some point before you even learn that there was someone who hung themselves. It's you to put two and two together. It's not the game outright sitting you down and saying, hey, she hung herself, so that's why the marks are on her neck. It's up to you to put that together. That is subtext. That's literally what that is. The text is, someone hung themselves, Nanana has a marker on her neck. The subtext in between is you put those two sentences together. Like, almost by definition, that's subtext. But I'm always a supporter of it. I'm always gonna be, because I don't get me wrong, I always like it when the games spell it out, just because I'm an idiot. But, it makes me, like, as silly as it sounds, it makes me feel better when it's me that put the dots together, and not the game. Or me that read between the lines and gone, oh, maybe this means... And even if it's not a clear answer, or it doesn't result in an answer, like, you know, maybe Serval and Kokoria had a relationship, maybe they didn't. For me, it's then nice to think about, and it generates discussion, because it's like, okay, if they were, what happened at these events, things like that. If they weren't, what didn't happen, and why is Serval the way she is, etc, etc. And I love the discussion it opens by not giving me an answer. It genuinely annoys me in... Sorry, I'm going to read your comment in a second, I want to finish my sentence, or finish my point. It genuinely annoys me when, like, there's mysteries left untouched in, like, a piece of work, and then someone asks the writer, and the writer immediately goes, oh yeah, it's because of this, 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 and this. I'm like, well, you've just ruined the fucking fun of it, dude. Great. I didn't want to know. I liked the idea of not knowing the in-betweens and getting to discuss it in between. Like, I genuinely love that Death End Request doesn't give you all the answers, but gives you so much information to discuss what the answers could be, that it ended up making an entire forum out of it that I was an active member of, and managed to generate theories and pieces together and had a huge community spirit about it. I loved it. If the director of Death End suddenly turned around and said, oh, this means this, 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 and this, and this, and this, I'd have been like, oh, what the fuck? You know, like, just wait to shut down talking. No, sorry, to read your point, doesn't need to be separated for the neck mark, like Kojima, I say Kojima, is a guy who loves to be, the subtext. Yeah, Kojima lives off his subtext, even though most of the subtext can be summarized as, war is bad. Some joke OC. Is that what? I know there's, is it Sparking? Sparking's the code name the character's going under in Star Rail, but I don't know of anyone called Gaming. Hang on, I gotta check this. The Twitter! Oh, I'm just getting a bunch of King's Proposal on my front page. I mean, yeah, I'm looking forward to King's Proposal too. Hang on. Star Rail. Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Oh, hang on. No, more interesting. His Cloud Retainer just got dropped. Genshin. His Cloud Retainer just got teased. Oh, no, I see it. His name is Gaming. Oh my god, it's a Genshin character. His name is Gaming. What the fuck? Why is his name Gaming? Why is this boy called Gaming? Oh no. That's hilarious. And Shunyun, or Cloud Retainer, looks insanely fucking hot. Holy shit. But why is the boy called Gaming? That's hilarious. What the fuck? Bro is literally gaming. So do you mean? I mean gaming. Yeah, what the fuck? Oh shit, just dropped my phone. Hang on. I mean, I read it and I was like, hey, Star Rail just announced a character called Sparking, so it might be a Star Rail character. Oh, it's not. Oh, we've got a cat. And if you come up with any fun, like, furry names or cat names, let me know. We'll name the cat it. Bruh. Cloud Retainer looks hot, though. I'm always down for a character with glasses, and we haven't had... I don't think they're... Outside of, like, since, like, Sucrose, I don't think we've had a character in glasses. Character called Gaming, yeah! It's like the cat would make when their face half dipped in water, like... It's just purring meows. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the company cat that makes this game or something. That they just recorded. Because my cat, one of my cat's Socks, she does that a lot. She does like the when she meows. She goes meow. You're like, what the fuck? Just meow like a normal cat. She looks at you and goes, you're like, what are you doing? Ignore gaming. Ignore gaming. Focus on... Hang on, let me... Hopefully YouTube doesn't have a vendetta against... not X. Focus on her. Focus on her, who I just put in chat. Make sure the link works. Focus on her. Focus on Asian mum. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, one man's like, no, don't fucking change the subject. One man's like, don't you fucking change the subject. There's a kid called fucking gaming. He's gaming. Oh, who's that cat girl in Grand Blue? That's what I'll call the cat after. Is it Fairy? Hang on. Grand Blue. It's worrying that the first thing that comes up about Fairy is what's Fairy's age. That is very worrying. That is very worrying. Why are so many people interested in how old she is? Is it because she looks young and people are worried they're going to get in trouble if they make Rule 34? See, yeah, I can see why you thought it was BS, because who the fuck? Where's that cat? I imagine it's in the newer ones. Yeah, there it is. Alright, you're Fairy. Do we have a name for the slime duck yet? Or am I just calling it Nickelodeon? Oh, there's not enough letters. Never mind, it's not called a Nickelodeon. Yeah. I mean, it's part of... Because the next patch for Genshin, after the one that comes out on Wednesday, there's not enough letters. It's one letter too big for Nickelodeon. I can call it... I might be able to call it a Slime Award. For the Nickelodeon Slime Awards. Oh, just. If I get rid of the space. Its name is the Nickelodeon Slime Awards. Call him Keely. No, is he the Game Awards? Alright, you know what? I'm down. Is that how you spell Keely? Is he like Jeff Keely? Tonight on the Game Awards, we're gonna have my new celebrity guest and not celebrate any awards. Sorry, I'm still bitter. Genuinely, what I can't stress this enough. Now E3 is officially dead, Jeff needs to separate the announcements from the awards. And what I mean is, literally, he has a summer game fest, do a winter game fest, and have it be like the awards shows on the first day, and then the days afterwards, all the announcements and shit. So then the awards can actually be the awards. Because the past 3 or 4 years, it has not felt like an award show at fucking all. The awards literally get brushed aside for celebrity cameos and game announcements. And it's like, then what? And the people who get the awards get literally 30-second clocks put on them now to thank people before they get told to move on. It's just like, ugh. Yeah, this year genuinely wound me up. I've spoken about it at length that it upset me, so I won't go on too much more. But putting an actual countdown clock on people accepting their awards before playing the get off the stage music, it just felt very distasteful and disrespectful. And then giving celebrities like 10-15 minutes to talk utter bullshit because, you know, they're Hollywood celebrities and they think they own the place. Ugh. It was just very upsetting and very dishonest. And it just felt like Jeff Keighley with the, you know, $500 billion video game industry looking at the $112 film industry and going, hey, please notice us. Aren't we cool? We're literally earning over 3 times as much as they are. Why do you care? They should be looking, like, without meaning to play that card, they should literally be looking up to us, not the other way around. The video game industry literally earns over triple the amount of money the film industry does every year without fail. Stop caring about Hollywood. We're doing fine. Care about the people who actually participated in the industry you're supposed to be celebrating. The announcements were kind of nice. It's just a shame the show was what it was. Memeing. And you know what was a better awards show that I was very happy to watch? The VTuber Awards. The VTuber Awards was great. Because it was actually focused on the talent and had some really fun little bits and actually gave time to all the winners to actually thank people and whatnot. It was great. David, I called him David because it's Dave the Diver because it's a submarine. At least I think that's why we called it. So problem. Yeah, Keeley's perspective has changed in the industry too much is the problem. And like now he sees it too much as like products and art and not the entertainment and fun it once was. Who got the awards again? You mean Game Awards or VTuber Awards? If you're talking about Game Awards, Baldur's Gate 3 took the Game of the Year award, which I think fair. Honkai Star Rail got Best Mobile Game award. FF16 got a couple awards, but I didn't know what. Neil Newborn, one of the main characters in Baldur's Gate 3, got Best Actor. I want to say FF16 got Best Music as well, but don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. It wasn't a complete sweep like it is on most years. Most years there's one game that just takes everything. This year there wasn't much of a sweep. A lot of games did get a lot of like recognition. Nothing in the East got recognition, but what's fucking new there? I never expect that to get recognition. There's a lot of people that are up, but unless your name's Final Fantasy, nothing in the East got recognition. Because Final Fantasy has too much Western appeal, so it gets pulled into that bandwagon. But yeah, there was no Reverie nominated for anything, which I thought was a real shame. Octopath Traveler 2 didn't get nominated for anything, and that I thought was a real shame too. I can't remember who got Player's Choice Award at all, top of my head. I really can't remember who got Player's Choice. Player's Choice feels like it means nothing after last year became a dick measuring contest between Sonic Frontiers and Genshin. After that, I really stopped caring about Player Choice Awards. It's just like, okay, yeah, we get it. People don't know what they want. As a fan of both, it was really annoying to just see the infighting spawned out of not something that really doesn't matter. But Star Rail, hey, thank you for winning. Thank you for us winning an award. Here's a free character and like 20 roles. Like, all right. Meanwhile, Genshin, hey, you fought to get us a Player Choice Award. Hey, here's 800 gems. That's it. Like, oh, thanks, guys. I remember the old rumor when Genshin was about to come out that if you got to Adventure Rank 42, you'd get Ayaka for free. I remember that old rumor. It was utter bullshit, but people were dreaming. People really wanted Ayaka to be free. But yeah, it's the same like any game. Like, Ryza 3 didn't get nominated for anything as far as I'm aware. No, Sophie 2 didn't get nominated last year for anything, which is a shame, because I think, even though I had one crash, the entire experience of that game was super fun. And Ryza 3, even though I have problems with it compared to Ryza 2, I still think it deserves the accolade. I still think it deserves the recognition. Yeah, the icon of the Drunk Traveler meme still lives on, yeah. Made fun, makes love all over Lumi kissing Sonic, oh god. Speaking of, that is something I wanted to talk about. There is a zero-budget fan film that dropped yesterday called Project Shadow. And so it's a fan film, and it's like 20 minutes long. So obviously don't expect, like, you know, perfect visuals. Like, there's a lot of points where, like, the visuals don't line up perfectly what's going on, but it does a good enough job to get away with it. And because it was filmed in Brazil, if you watch in the English dub, the live-action actors having, like, you know, an English dub so their lips don't match is kind of awkward and weird at points. But even if you can get past like the awkward lip syncing and some of the animation looking a little weird, I genuinely recommend it. It was a fantastic fan film. I was like, what do you mean this was made by like 3 people with no money? You know, like what do you mean? This is phenomenal. I genuinely really enjoyed it. You can watch it in Brazilian with just English subtitles, or in English with the English dub. And I ended up watching both just to kind of show my support, because I was just like, you know what, it's worth watching, and I genuinely really enjoyed it. It's a very well done short film focused on Shadow the Hedgehog. And his origin, re-examining his origin. Because for the two of you that don't know Shadow's origin, his whole origin is that he was made on the space colony to become the ultimate weapon to ultimately protect Earth. He grew up alongside a child girl called Maria. The army eventually caught on to what was going on, infiltrated the space base, took Gerald Robotnik in for arrest because making the ultimate weapon, he was just seen as a war criminal, and murdered that 10-year-old Maria in front of Shadow's eyes, and Shadow got ejected out to escape the imprisonment out into Earth, where he eventually became twisted by revenge. which eventually led to his fall. That hit, like, similar to in the, and it'll work for the film because Sonic's origin story in the film is that you know, a bunch of the Echidna tribe raided Sonic's home and murdered his mother figure whilst he got sent out. But instead of going for revenge, he eventually found a family and people that looked after him and people that like let him grow into who he wanted to be instead of becoming too in his loneliness. Shadow never got that. Shadow was found and captured by that same army and put in a prison lock for 50 years. So where one person lost someone because of the actions of another, but got the chance to be a better person, the other didn't. So I can't wait for Sonic 3 the film to see that contrast between the two of them, of someone who had an opportunity versus someone who never had that fucking opportunity. And the fan film does a phenomenal job at showing that, whilst being tasteful. Like, they don't show Maria getting shot, but they show Shadow seeing it, and his reaction to it, and things like that. It's a very good, like, fan film. Also, new. It's literally... Okay, we finally got a duck that technically has fire properties. That sparkler can light shit. So we might actually finally melt the ice duck. Who's our party goer? But I personally would recommend watching it in Brazilian with the English subtitles, just because the lip flap and the lip syncing, and to be honest, the voice acting as well, is a little awkward in places because of how they're trying to make it sync up. Trying to make it sync up with animation is one thing, trying to make it sync up with live action actors makes it really apparent at times. Like, you're like, oh... Like, it's not a bad dub by any means. It's just awkward in places because Brazilian to English it makes the lip flaps really awkward. And, like, you can tell, like, the dub tried to make it sync up in places, and sometimes, like, worse than, like, the generic Japanese, like English dubs that people take the mick out of, where, like, it looks kind of out of sync anyway. It looks hella fucking out of sync at times. Or, like, the English dub actors, to try and keep up with it, will, like, have random pauses mid-sentence for the lip flap, and it's like, ugh. Is she going to touch the fireplace? Yeah, she touched the fireplace. Okay, this is now all a hot spring. So Frozone over here is going to finally start melting slowly but surely. Oh, did Tom get lost? Yes, he did. Okay, he's over here now. This is what happens when once Tom's gone. He parks over here by the fireplace. He starts eating marshmallows by his own, by his lonesome. But it did inadvertently get me more excited for Sonic 3 next December. The fact it's a whole year away yet, it's like, ugh. But I'm genuinely now way more excited for a Sonic 3 movie because the Shadow fan film basically felt like a prologue. Like a really well done prologue. And the fact that they, like, the fan film did what the main films have yet to, which is incorporate the music from the games into it. I know it's like a fan film, so of course the fan's gonna do it. But having a slow recreation of the piano theme from Shadow the Hedgehog play during some of the quieter moments of it, and I picked it up on it immediately. I was like, that's nice. To hear the piano of Never Turn Back, which the piano piece in Never Turn Back in is of itself a piano mix of I Am All of Me, you know, that infamous edgy as fuck Shadow the Hedgehog theme. That's actually genuinely really sick, and I won't hear any different. It's that I love that song, but that's besides the point. Hearing that in parts of this film is just like, that's nice. Or like at one point where like they have a radio playing and it's Almost Dead from Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm like, alright, I get it. But just not like the super edgy bit. I mean, like, even though I have problems with Shadow the Hedgehog the game, I'm a huge defender of that game's soundtrack. I genuinely enjoy a lot of that game's soundtrack. Not just the songs, but the level tracks too. Some of the level track themes are genuinely, like, bops, and I have a lot of time for them. Same, it's a good song. It's a good song. Yeah, I love I Am All of Me. Crush 40 really nailed it. And I love Never Turn Back as well, the credits song. I know not as many people heard it, because not as many people got the true ending in Shadow, but it's still a really good song. And the piano bit at the start of it's beautiful. Nah, it's more just because, like, I still remember, like, when the game came out, people loved the song. Then the internet did what the internet does best and ruined a good thing, especially during the late 2000s, early 2010s, where it's like the internet opinion carried way too much weight over what people thought of things. If you know, you know. There's probably at least something you've experienced that people enjoyed, and then the internet said it's bad, so everyone just suddenly said it's bad. That was like at its worst, late 2000s, early 2010s. But a lot of people did that with I Am All of Me, and say it's just like an edgy, weird song. So a lot of people suddenly didn't like it, but then those people went away, and everyone kind of came back and went, actually, no, this song's a banger. It's like, it had its phase where like people really hated on that song, but it passed, thankfully. It's part of the reason why the view count for I Am All of Me is so astronomically high, because it's gone through people liking it and listening to it, to people hate watching it, to like make their dunk opinions on it, to then people loving it and watching it again. So it's just gotten a super high view count. Because it's literally had 3 eras of being in the public spotlight for different reasons. Hey, Frozone's melted. Here he is. Well, he's almost melted. You can see that the ice is starting to break away. What's going down? We haven't checked on the gang in a while. How's everyone doing? Makoto, Jack, Serval, Oscar, Himiko, and Steve the anime character. Oh, and Majima all hanging down here. Quite the posse you've got built up over here. Oh, the puck's in the goal. Nice. That's a gold trophy, by the way. I've already got it, but just if that puck ends up in the goal, that's a gold trophy in it for you. We need a name for our party duck. Who's the party goer, duck? Oh god, Sudowoodo's on fire. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, Sudowoodo. Akiyama. Fair. We'll see. If Fable's still around, let him have a guess as well. Because one man, you kind of ended up taking a lot by accident. So I just take yours first. Oh, we've got... Oh, word search, Doug. We've got puzzles. This is Professor Layton. I'm deciding this one. This one's Layton. It's puzzles. There he is, Professor Layton. I wanted to put a dot in between, but it's too many letters. I wanted to put Prof. Layton. Alright, Akiyama it is, because Fabled's missing his chance. Oh, I should probably, just in case I lose any... Oh, you can see, this is my trophy collecting. How many ducks have we actually got right now? 28. I've been streaming for just over 2 hours. We'd go a little bit yet now. We're just kind of chatting away. But yeah, let's stretch for a second. After I'm back, so I'm going to run a poll over my time off about what is the RPG I'm going to be dropping onto when we get back, whether it's Trails from Zero, Atelier Aisha, or Final Fantasy VI. But after I'm back, it's like the big games I'm leaning on that I'll be playing is Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. I'll be on Frame 1 because I'm genuinely really excited for it. I don't know if that'll be a franchise or a one-off. It depends how much I enjoy it. I don't want to commit to saying I'll do the whole game or like do the whole series sort of thing until I play it, because I don't know if I'll enjoy it, even though it looks really fucking good. Tomb Raider is going to be day one, because I'm super excited for that. And that one I will do all of them, all 3 of them. And Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on February 29th will be. Everything else, if I plan to play, will either be like impulsively for one-offs, or I'm doing them in my spare time and not on stream. Like, I'm not playing Persona 3 on stream, fuck that. And I'm not playing Infinite Wealth on stream. They're both too long. Sophie is in the same verse Ted Bundy now. Yeah. I mean, yeah, Liddy, Serval, Frozone, Himiko, Steve, Jack, Sophie, Majima, and Oscar, they're all here. They're all here. Professor Layton's hanging out with a literal cat girl. A real gentleman always has time for the extra strange. You know, Dave the Diver's like just bumped into Margiloo. It's a mess. I love it. It's the real beauty of this game, honestly. The real beauty of this game is just the bullshit stories you can make up as you go. Where? Hang on. Where's Leben? I know we have Leben. What happened to her? There's me. Sudobudo, Virus, Emiko. She might have fallen off. Because that is possible. Oh, yeah, she did fall off. She's here. What? Leben, this happened last time. When we was on the other map, Leben fell off the map and got stuck somewhere. How did this happen again? How did you even get there? Did you fall off the slide? How does this keep happening, Leben? Noah's over here like, where's my wife? Meanwhile, Ted Bundy. There's that plane again. But yeah, then after like the big RPGs are done at the start of the year next year, I am going to be mostly playing Keep Up, or playing Catch Up, because obviously we'll do the Outlive Dusk games. I'm going to do like the Trails games on and off. I want to do more classic Final Fantasy, so after we do FF6, I do want to do either FF1 or FF3. So I'm skipping 2, because firstly there's a sub goal, and secondly I don't like that game. And 5 is super hard, so we'll get to that when I'm in the mood for it, because 5 is... I'm not confident I can finish 5 if I start streaming it without excessively grinding, because the game is just genuinely hard, and I'm not confident that if I just start streaming it, I'll actually be able to beat it. That's the only reason why I'm hesitant. I'll do it eventually, but I expect a lot more failure in FF5. Expect me to game over way more often, because I am just kind of bad at parts of that game. And at some point I also want to do Octopath Traveler 2, but I know that game is huge, so that'll be a while yet. But I really want to do Octopath Traveler, because I love Team Osaka / Silicon Studios' games. I genuinely do. Bravely Default and Bravely Second are phenomenal. Octopath 1, super fun. I haven't played Bravely 2, but that's because it's on Steam and Switch and nothing else, so I can't. And so I'm super excited for Octo to try Octo 2. I brought Octo 2, I just need to actually like fire it up and start it. And then we've still got, you know, like Neptunia SVS and Game Maker will be out by the time I actually get that catch up. So it's like those 2 spin-offs I need to do at some point. At some point I want to revisit Death and Request 1 and 2, because I said I would if they announced a new one, and they have. We got Code Xeon next year, and then we got Death and 3 the year after. Which is a little bit like, oh, yeah, Death and 3 so far away, but at the same time, at least I'm glad it's happening. We've got the second FF16 DLC in spring. Like, we're going to be busy, regardless. Just hopefully not as much with new stuff and more just like being able to like play like the stuff that there's nothing else going on, so I'm just going to vibe with this kind of games. As much as I love my RPGs, it is nice to kind of break up the mold a little bit here and there. Like we'll be doing with Tomb Raider at the start of the year, or in February, because Tomb Raider comes out on Valentine's, so my Valentine's gift for me is going to be playing Tomb Raider. New duck. What the... It's a graffiti duck, but what the shit? This is a wild looking duck. What the heck? But it's like, so we did Axiom Verge 2 the other day. Well, I finished it the other day even. Picasso! Yeah, it's very Picasso. And like, I love returning to a Metroidvania, and I want to do more. And like, Blasphemous has been on my radar for a while. I said it at the time, and I'll say it again though. The only thing making me hesitant with Blasphemous is that it has at like full nudity in it. And I'm like, streaming on YouTube? Game stubborn. That's fair enough. And I get it, because I don't do it. Just for me, it's like, once I finish the game, like, I might 100% it, but I'll probably do it in my own time. It's very rare I 100% a game on stream. The last time I can think I completely 100% a game on stream, that was like an actual commitment project, was Rise of 1. But that's just because, well, after once I finished the DLCs, I only had one trophy left, so it just made sense for the rest of that stream to get that last trophy. And I suppose, like, Turnip Boy, but that wasn't a project, that was just, we platinumed the game in, like, 2 or 3 hours, however long it took me to beat that game back on my birthday. If you remember Turnip Boy, commits tax evasion. Can't wait for the sequel, Turnip Boy robs a bank, that's happening. Don't know when it's coming out, but I'm like, yeah, you know what, sure, I'm down. I like the first one was dumb and stupid, but I'm up for it. If it comes out around my birthday, we got my birthday game sorted. And then also, I said the Elden Ring DLC. I don't know if I'll do the Elden Ring DLC immediately, but I will want to cover it. Because I do genuinely, unironically enjoy that game a lot. And it's just, you know, my only thing is that it's the size of it. You know, I'm genuinely nervous for the size of that DLC. They've been cooking it for like well over a year, and like, it's going to be big, isn't it? It's not going to be like 1 or 2 areas and we're done in a stream or 2. It's going to be like a big thing that's going to take me like a week. And I'm like, ugh. And so I'll figure that out when I get to it, but I'm in no rush. It's rumored to drop in February, so I super won't be in a rush because I'll be too knee-deep in other stuff anyway. I'll get round to it probably in like the summer after it. Like once all the hubbub of it's been and gone. Oh, it's called Payday 2. Oh, I should name this Picasso looking motherfucker. There he is. And just like last time, when we're about to wrap up, I will save and then reload it because it'll make all the ducks drop at once so we can do a roll call of everyone that joined us. We got more old than new, so maybe I should have just made it just the expansion. But also the just the expansion is only like 28 or 9 ducks, so I think we would have seen them all by now. So it's probably better we did it this way, because otherwise we would have seen all the ducks and it would have been like, well, now what? And if they do release the 3rd map on console for this, I don't know if I'll stream this game again. Like, but because I enjoyed this game for like messing around with like £5 to get it. I don't know if I want to buy DLC for it. You know, I don't know if I like it that much, but we'll see. Because it's only on PC right now, the 3rd map, which is like a space-themed map. And there's like another batch of ducks. Like I said, we'll see. I can find out if the ghost is here. We can look through the cyborg's eyes for a minute. Wherever the ghost functions as a normal duck, so it could be anywhere, because it could be floating anywhere. But you can only see it through the cyborg. So this cyborg's not really looking at anything, so I'll come away. But yeah, that's kind of the spiel for next year. I also want to do more scripted videos. I enjoyed the ones I did. And the only reason why there hasn't been another one recently is because at first I started working on the Doom 3 DLC. Then Dusk, the Boomer Shooter Dusk, not Dusk Saga, came out. And so I shifted my priority to that because that game's super fun. But then I learned about Dusk HD and how that's adding not only new content, but like new weapons and updating the old content. And so I was like, you know what, I'm going to wait for that to drop on console so I can review, like, the full finished package, not, you know, not something that's literally an inferior version to the current version. But then I was like, but do I want to really go back to Doom 3's DLC right now? And so it ends up becoming, like, a bit of a, just one thing led to another, and I just haven't made a video yet. And I'm not, before anyone else, I'm not doing a, like, a best of 2023 video like I did for best of 2022. I enjoyed it last year, but it's not something I really want to like do again. It was a nice experiment, and nice to get my feet wet, but I'm good. I really like Tail. I like Tail. If you're talking about Mr. Tail, like this touch to Huahua, I like Tail. Tail and Huahua are a fantastic duo. Yeah. And when you find out that like the only reason the thing that keeps Tail attached to Huahua and stops it from turning into a monster that like can kill people is the yellow the yellow X tape on the tail. Like when the tail's attached to Huahua, if you look at it, there's a little X. There's like a yellow X on it. That yellow X is literally just like two pieces of tape that have a talisman on it. And that's what's stopping Mr. Tail going wild. It's like, man, it's just that easy. Someone could just pull that off and then it's free. But I like Mr. Tail. I like him a lot. I like Huahua too, but I'm a sucker for those kind of archetypes, those character types. I'm a sucker for a lot of character types, to be fair. From the start, no. Oh god, oh god. Ah, so you stopped talking about Danganronpa. It's been an hour, so you can talk about it again. No, get out of here, Monokuma. I don't care for your discussion of hope and despair. Did someone say hope? Not you. Get out of here. No, no, they're all coming. The voices are back. Where is Nagito? I'm over here! No, he's not. I've got him handcuffed to a wall. He's fine. He's not going anywhere. But I want to give the world more hope. No, no, you don't. Your version of hope is not good hope. Such a stupid fucking bit. It's such a stupid fucking bit that we've taken from Dangan 2. But I can't tell anyone about my lustrous hand. You know, that bullshit. It's just a stupid bit. I don't know why it keeps making me laugh, but it does. That's the real reason Ultra Despair Girls needs a remaster, because he's in that game. Nagito's back in UDG. Because UDG is based before 2, so it's back when he's still alive. And you get more of his, like, deranged bullshit. Because Ultra Despair Girls, despite releasing after 2, is based before 2, but I genuinely think you should play 2 first. Because you play UDG first. It's my favourite bit. Yeah, but it is, like, it's stupid, but I mean that lovingly. That it's stupid, but funny stupid. Like, you sit and you go, but this is so whatever. But we laugh because it's funny. But like, if you played UDG first, it completely reveals the hand of Nagito being a complete psycho. So it completely kind of like disrupts that twist at the end of case 1 of 2. Because when you see him in 2, you immediately know he's weird. But if you play him in release order, so you play 2 first, then UDG, then you still get that surprise. It's the only problem if you play him in lore order instead of release order. If you play him in lore order and you go from 1 to UDG, you get spoiled on Nagito and what he's really like. I mean, they try and hide it a smidge, because he literally has a sock over his hand. That's Junko's hand. Because it's, you know, not on the digital realm that Danganronpa 2 takes place in. it's in reality when he did cut off his own arm and stitch on Junko's arm, so he has a sock over that hand, so you don't realize. So if you haven't seen it, at least that bit of the twist isn't spoiled for you. You might, even if it's a little weird that he's literally just got like a sock on his hand. You're like, what? Why? You've got a sock on your hand. What's under that? He's like, oh, don't worry about it. And you're like, all right. Oh, the rescue dog. What duck did it rescue? Is Leben safe? No, she's still stuck. Okay, so a different duck got stuck. The rescue dog duck only appears if a duck falls off down here that isn't Tom. That isn't the flying one. So that means at some point a duck fell off. Because the rescue dog duck is here. So we have a rescue dog duck if anyone wants to name that one. There's a cat and a dog in this pool. Uh-oh. That's just crossed my mind. There is a cat around here as well. Fairy is still around. I also want to do more fighting game streams next year. I kind of got cucked with my internet always falling on me every time I try and play online in fighting games, but I always have a soft spot for fighting games, so I'd like to try and do more fighting game streams next year. Not just Guilty Gear, but like do Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, because that game's fun. Maybe do a Persona 4 Arena Ultimax, because I don't think we're ever getting P5 Arena, so I've got to take what I can get. Heck, maybe even a BlazBlue stream in there, that'd be nice. Miss me some BlazBlue. But we'll see. I have nothing set in stone for that, it's just something that might be fun to do. And if I do Fantasy Versus, I hope you guys understand that like most of the stream, before I actually start playing it, will just me be gushing about the soundtrack, because Versus' soundtrack is insane. It's part of the reason why I'm so excited for Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, is because Fantasy Versus' soundtrack is so fucking good that I'm like, I can't wait to hear relinks. I can't wait to hear the actual RPG game's soundtrack if the fighting game soundtrack is this good, because it is deranged how good some of it is. Hearing Zeta's theme for the first time, and it's just like, oh, there's a lot of like really strong in-your-face electric guitar mixed with orchestra, and it's like, hell yes. I love Zeta's. I got to bring it up and chuck it in chat now. I started talking about it. At least a couple tracks, or maybe at least one. Like this one. I think it's the track I'm thinking of. I gotta check now. The guitar lick at the start. Yeah, it is the track I'm thinking of. Just the opening. It's like, oh, like you hear the opening. It's like, oh, we're in. My song this year though is from Gaiden. Won't see more than that. Fair enough. Is it that credits song you've been Speaking of, when I go on my break, I am going to go finish Gaiden. I've kind of let that game sit on the side for too long. I am going to go finish it during my break. Because I'm the only one left in my friends group that hasn't finished it. And like, all my friends keep on looking at me like, Rob, fucking finish it so we can talk about it. I'm like, fine. Oh, yes. Oh, who's just joined us? Is it someone who's kind of metal to fit the theme? I mean, I assume a wrestler can be kind of metal, I guess, maybe. If Guacamole could fit and I knew how to spell it, I'd call this thing Guacamole. But I think Guacamole is way too many letters. I can call it Quan, because that's the main character of Guacamole, but... I'll leave it for now, just in case someone thinks of a better name for the wrestler. But like the traditional like mask on the face wrestler, like the stereotypical Mexican wrestler. There are so many ducks down here on the ice. Jack and Sophia are hanging out. Makoto and Majima. What's with like the double ups going on? Are they like on a group date? The fuck? Akiyama's just vibing. Steve, Ferry, YouTube chat. Serval. The duck is with near Toturi. Snake is over here vibing. Frozone's there. Squirtle, I have no idea what Squirtle's doing. Squirtle is doing his best. It's just vibing over there. Oh, who's going down the join it? Oh, two have just gone down the join it. Oscar's gone down, and Wrestler has just gone down. So Picasso, I think that's Liddy, Himiko, Ted, Professor Layton, David, Monokuma, the Doge we still haven't named, Sudowoodo, and Noah, Theoris, Magilu, and Cena over here. Meanwhile, Leben, how are we doing, Leben? You're still doing great. I mean, the wife and I? Yeah, we're still vibing down here. Yeah, but that track from Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and a lot of the tracks, to be fair, are just really fun. I think it's called, like, it's like Party Something, and it's like a really, like, high-energy techno track. That's from, like, Grand Blue as well, and that one's also super fun. And it's super fitting for the character, because it's, triplets, it's these three lads, and they're all as perverted and as dorky as each other, and they take nothing seriously. Like, there's a meme, and it perfectly sums them up, and it's like another character going up to them and going, "Are you watching porn all by yourself?" And Lil turns around and goes, "Nah, I'm watching it with the boys!" And his two brothers just show up. That's them. That's them. They're just perverted fucking idiots. And their theme really encapsulates it, because it's just like disco music with high energy. It's just do 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 boing boing boing. You're like, what the fuck is this? There's also like two different yandere chicks in Grand Blue Versus currently. One that's more overt, one that's more subtle. Because Vera is obsessed with, I forget the name of the other girl, the Night Woman. But she's like super obsessed with her. And so every time she sees her, she goes like insane and gets like this twisted grin. And anyone who talks to her, she tries to murder. Like, she's super like this just stereotypical yandere. She's Yuri yandere, so even better, but still. Whilst the other one, the character called Nier, I think Nier's kind of interesting. I like her a lot. She's everyone who's ever loved her has ultimately manipulated her, and instead of it, like, you know, leaving an impact, or well, it has left an impact, it's warped her perspective of what love means, because she assumes that love literally means manipulation, literally means to abuse, literally means to do that. And so she now wants to show her love back to the world. And so there are people that she loves, but she doesn't realize she actually loves them because of her warped perspective of what it is. And there's even, like, one of the main characters, this girl called Gita, I think that's how you pronounce her name. When they talk to each other, Nier genuinely loves the shit out of her. She just doesn't have the right word for it, because what she thinks is love is different. But anytime Gita does anything, she sees it as a betrayal for not doing it with Nier. And so Nier goes, "So you've betrayed me. You've betrayed my love, like everyone else ever will. And for that you must die." And it's like, okay. But she also has a literal demented spirit with her that's trying to protect her and guide her the right way, whilst also being under her whim. And so every now and then, Nier will summon that spirit and force it to kill people for her. And it's like, okay, so there's two messed up yandere-esque characters in this game. Cool. I hope at least one of them is in Relink, because I'd absolutely love to do a boss fight against them. And of course, there's the two, like, the Booba sisters. There's the samurai chick with the really long pink hair with giant booba, and then there's the sheep girl who carries a lance. She's also got giant booba, and like, For the sheep girl, like, as far as I'm aware, she is the fan favorite in terms of like general attraction. Like, she has the most fan art, better or like wholesome and not so. She is the character people wanted in Rising because she wasn't in it at launch. She is the character that people always talk about how much they relate to because she's a complete lazy sleepyhead that just constantly wants to vibe her way through life. She just happens to carry absolute fucking cannonballs on her chest while she's at it. And people are into their, like, furry characters, so her being, like, a sheep girl is, like, just even better for them. Like, she just ticks way too many boxes for people. Whilst her sister, being a quieter, more reserved samurai chick, was also carrying her own cannonballs. It's like, okay, I see the deal with these siblings. I see why people like these two so much. And the samurai chick, I know she's playable in Relink, so I'm like, brilliant. I'm ready. I'm ready for an action game with a samurai character in it. Hell yeah, give me anime booba Virgil. I'm ready. I doubt she'll play like that, but I can dream. I can dream for super anime Virgil. She does Virgil shit in verses, so it's not out of the question. Like she has her own judgment cuts. It's not entirely out of the out of possibilities. It's just whether it will happen or not. She also, like, when she's like readying her katana, she like runs her fingertips across the whole blade going up, and then circles the tip of the blade before pulling it out. And it's like, there's a lot of like questionably seductive jokes to be made out of that. What ducks just joined us? Oh, a like steampunk kind of duck. Ooh, this one's kind of cool. This duck's kind of sick. I like this one. So we need a name for the steampunk duck. We need a name for the dog. And there was another one we needed a name for as well. Don't know where it is. Oh, the wrestler. I was going to call it Juan for Guacamelee reference. But we need a steamboat duck. I could call it Willy for Steamboat Willy. But now people might just look at it and go, why have you called it Willy? And not realise the reference, so I won't. And we need a name for the Doge. I was going to call it Doge until someone thinks of a better one. What's with all the double ups over here? What's going on? Like, you know, Sophie and Jack are vibing, Majima and Akiyama now are vibing, Steve and Serval are kind of vibing. What's going on? What's with this huddle in the corner? YouTube chat and Totally are becoming good friends, which that tracks. Picasso and Duck, oh, they're kind of divorcing. Oh, and Noah and Doge are over here. And Noah's like, where's Leben? Where is she? Unaware that she's like stuck in a mountainside just over here. She's like there. I'll go for like another 5 or 10 minutes and then I'll probably wrap it up. We've kind of seen a lot of what we're going to see. We'll give it 1 or 2 more duck cycles. Yeah, we're on 33. I'll wrap it at... I'm 32, so we'll wrap it at 33. And then we'll do our roll call. So there's time for you to nab the steamboat name. So I vibe to the music too much. Ooh, I'm trying to think of the names now. It's serious at ATM. Oh, fair enough. Think of a name for a steampunk, or whatever this is, steampunk character while you're at it, one man. Whilst you're fighting Sirius. I was going to call it Steamboat Willy, but if I just call it Willy, people will get the wrong idea. But speaking of Steamboat Willy, and by Furina, I mean, yeah, I guess. I should. No, if I was going to call it after a Genshin character, Rivesley would make more sense. But firstly, I don't know if that's enough letters, and secondly, I have no idea how to fucking spell Rivesley. Actually, let me look it up. See if it actually fits. No, there's... Well, is there enough letters? Hang on. Oh, one letter. One letter off. Damn, alright. Furina it is. Actually, Navia would make more sense. Because of Spina de Fontaine. Or the Spina de Rosa. Navia would make more sense. Because she literally has like a steampunk fortress. Or like hideout. Yeah, so I'll give it to the next duck. When the next duck drops, we will roll call and wrap. And we've had fun vibing. It's nice to come back to this game and just kind of vibe for a bit. So I wanted to do it around Christmas time because I knew this map was like a snowy map, so I think it's like fitting in theme. And it's a nice kind of like just cozy warm up for the week. I know it's only a couple streams we're doing this week because, you know, like after Wednesday I'm off. But it's nice to just kind of start with like this nice little vibe and just kind of chit chat and catch up with you guys. Because it was always either going to be one of the last streams I do before I break up for Christmas, or one of the first streams I do after I got back. It was always going to be one or the other. Yeah, disrupt this, please. Get all these guys moving around. There's so many just stuck in a corner. Come on, Zambodi, go break this up. Oh, okay. At least there's more by the thing. And when we do the roll call, I'll bring up the menu and go through every single named duck as well, so we can see what silly ones we had over time. How's Tom doing? He's vibing still. He's enjoying his marshmallow. It's probably very overdone by now. Sophie Ferry and the text is blurring slightly. Oscar. But tomorrow we'll be back on Nelka. Last stream with Nelka this side of the new year, and then Wednesday the Genshin update. With the Genshin update, I know there's an event that's going to happen as well, but my priority for that stream is not the event, it'll be Navia's quest. And I don't know how long Navia's quest will be, because the quests in Fontaine have got way longer. Remember, we were streaming for like nearly like 6 hours, I think it was, and we still wasn't done. Well, one of the story quests was like, ooh. I mean, we should get it done in one stream. It's on. I'm streaming it on a Wednesday when I'm not working. It's the last day I'm not working before I do my midnights. So we can go longer if we need it to, but hopefully we'll get it done in one stream. And the event does look kind of cool, and I might do it, assuming it's not over by the time I get back from my break, but we'll see. If it looks like it's going to be over by the time I come back from my break, then I'll just do it in my spare time. It does look fun though. For those who don't know, the event that's coming up is Furina wants to direct a film, and so you're getting the cast members together to play out certain roles and to help serve Furina's film. And it's like more of like a light-hearted, like, after all the bullshit the main story Furina's gone through, let's give her something that she wants. Let's let her direct a film. And so you're getting the actors together, helping the script and whatnot, and it just looks like it looks like a happy, good time. After all the intensity of the main story, just have something kind of laid back and chill. We're also supposed to be getting some pretty good quality of life in the next update, including the ability to auto-redispatch and auto-recollect the people dispatching. So you don't have to like manually reset every person to get your your dispatches every day. You can like have it reset automatically, which is huge. Star Rail has that. And it's like it's about time. New duck incoming. It's Sir Queen. Our last duck is the infamous, the grand return of Sir Queen. Hell yeah, let me save. And now, time to leave, because we're going to do our roll call. Yeah, full circle. We started with Sir Queen, we finished on Sir Queen. So, today we had YouTube chat. We had Majima, Todori, Sophie, Steve, Margilu, John Cena, Snake, Anoa, Leben, Kurumi, Oscar, Squirtle, Jack, that duck, Liddy, Serval, Himiko, Ferris, Pseudo Wudo, Me Smiles, Makoto, Tom Petty, Jeff Keighley, Ferry, Dave the Diver, Akiyama, Professor Layton, Picasso, Monokoma, Juan, Navia, and Sir Queen. And Snake's already way over here. What is it with Snake and pissing off immediately? And to go through all of our collection, all of the ducks I have YouTube chat, A Lamau, if you know the meme, you know it. Solid Snake, Sudowoodo, Leben, Kurumi, me, Sophie, Tom Petty, Makoto, Jack, Margilu, Liddy, Monokuma, Ferris, Himiko, Sir Queen, Serval, Majima, Steve the Anime, Cena, Chibi, Ellie, because Ellie's a reference to my book, the Duck, Nelke, Sen. We didn't get Sen, huh? Oh, there's another duck called Anoa. Whoops. well, Anoa has a twin. Roxy, Pamela. Oh, we didn't get my other wife. Baller, Suli, David Diver, Blan, Bailu, Cock, Problem, because it makes everything catch fire. Garnu, Bonk, the old chap, Churchill, Squirtle, Totally, Silverwolf, Velvet, Bronze, Zenless, Mr. Mime, Venny, Kokoro, Bullet Seed, Rem, Nahida, Roger, Freaker, Ray, Sickness, Bob, because it's SpongeBob, Homer, Azel, my main character for my book, I am the Eggman, it's what I am, Kefka, not Kafka, Kefka, the FF6 villain, Mirabi, Leonie, Asta, Ram, because you know Rem and Ram, plus and minus, I, Pachi, Pixie, Markama, Code, because Code is for the door, Greg, Gura, as in the shark VTuber Gura, Pain, because it's a baseball, if it hits you, if those things get thrown at you hurt, the swimsuit. We didn't get to see all the duck addictions. There's a shark, there's we got Fairy, we didn't get the ball, we didn't get that, we got Akiyama, we did not get Disco Kiryu, which is a real shame. I was really hoping Disco Kiryu would show up at some point, because look at that duck and tell me it isn't Disco Kiryu. We got Juan, we didn't get the ghost. Oh no, that's the ghost story. We didn't get the pale one. We didn't get the sketches. We did get the stars Oscar. We didn't get the Russian, I forget what it's called, but it's like the smaller things in the big thing. And like you open it up and it has the smaller version. Then you open that one up and it has an even smaller, that one. That one has a pizza on its head. We didn't get a ninja duck. We didn't get Professor Layton. We didn't get the ninja, which is tied to a trophy. Navia. We didn't get a Noah 2. We didn't get the bomb disposal duck, that's literally what it does. It shoots out little bombs. The ghost. We might have got the ghost, we just didn't spot it. I know we didn't because it would have spawned. The farmer, the glass duck, which can be broken by the bombs. Whatever that duck is. We didn't get because we didn't get the, what is it, naked? The censored duck, and I still don't know what that one is. And of the specials, the last special duck you only get from doing the Easter egg, so we've got all of them. We got Frozone, we had Ted Bundy, we had Doge, and then from last month we had Mr. Beast, Warashu, and Nvidia. And that's the whole duck family. But that'll do from me. It was nice to kill just under, well, 2 hours 45 minutes, but just under 3 hours, and just kind of vibe with this game. It's silly, and I probably am going to uninstall it as soon as this stream ends and not really think about it again, but it's nice to kind of just vibe with, to have a game to just talk with you guys about. That's what we basically did for the past nearly 3 hours, just talk. Which is all it's about. It's a good, like, just sit down and chat about anything game whilst ducks do their own thing. We didn't do as much duck lore as we did last time, but that's fine. We were just happy vibing. But that's going to do from me. So tomorrow we're back on our Nelcare binge, which will hopefully be enjoyable and we'll get some progress done. Because we are like, we are trying to like get more difficult goals in that game that we have to kind of work a bit harder to get to, but we'll get there. But until then, thank you all so much for watching and enjoy and hope you joined in the discussion one way or another. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, genuinely really helps this little channel grow. Additionally, you can find my Twitter, my Patreon, and my PayPal in the description of every video. I do want to be better about updating my Patreon. I know I've been kind of bad about it, and it's like it's kind of less of an incentive for people to join it if it's barely getting updates. But I will think about that probably more in the new year. But I digress. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.